Wow. What you see before we go live is fun stuff on screen. What we see before we go live is a lot of shenanigans. Hi, my name is Jared Sarton. I will be your dungeon master for the Here Be Dragons group. We have Lindsay, Nathan, Lauren, the other Jared, also known as Jared, and a fun, friendly face here, that guy. Oh, Austin. Austin, welcome back.
You can call me Bob.
Jared, how do you feel about being called the other Jared?
I'm the other Jared when he speaks.
Well, I'm I mean, I'm older, so
okay.
I'm
am
also the real Nondersec, so
I am the other Jared, and we have Jared, the real Nondersec.
Yes.
Exactly.
So who's the liability?
Yes.
Your husband.
Right there.
Come on. After
Right
what I've been through this week, I'm the liability.
You guys are in for a treat here. You're in for a treat. We have a special guest. You know him. You love him.
We also go that far.
Yeah, you know him. You put up with him. We also have stuff going on where we're giving away some things. We teased that we're going to give away some dice. So that's happening. What you need to do is type ! enter or ! ticket or ! raffle. I think most of those will get you in. It'll let you know in chat when you have your ticket. You don't have to be here. Oh, interesting. Try a capital R on that one.
And
the bot might be silly. !
Raffle ticket.
Wait, did you spell that right? Oh.
I don't know.
So maybe just don't use that one. Just do enter.
Try ticket or enter. There you go. That'll get you in. All of our crew on screen here will not be able to win. Try ! ticket. The bot's just being silly.
It's a test. It's a test.
You get one ticket. We're going to give away some dice. We also might draw a second person. Yeah, we will draw a second person for a winner today. For Encounter Plus, you get a year subscription of Encounter Plus's extra features. Yes, we're drawing right there. So the extra features in Encounter Plus are really cool stuff. You get battle maps, you get ability to send it to like external screens, get a URL that you can share across the internet so you can play in Discord and use Encounter Plus on the go. Lots of cool stuff. Take a look at them. They're free in the App Store, but we're giving you some of those special features for a year's free subscription. That'll be a second winner here. Unfortunately, it is iOS and Mac only. So if you're a winner and decide not to use it or can't use it, give it away to a friend. And if you can't, we'll gladly redraw. But you don't have to be here to win. We'll contact you and go from there. I think one more thing before we just double check everything else. This is a 5-week month. You know what we do on 5-week months? We have a third show. So in 2 weeks, we have another show, which puts us back to back. So a 5th week and a 1st week.
Wait, us?
Yeah, yes.
Austin.
Yes, I wrote it into your contracts. Just remember. Austin, if you're free, cool. If not, go away. So we will have a show in 2 weeks and one in 3 weeks. So do tune into our socials. We will be letting you know a little bit more when that comes around, but we have something special planned for that additional thing. Man, Buttspot is already diving in. Do hang out in chat. We do have a wonderful bot brought to you by the real Nondersec, aka Jared.
That's me.
That's you, who does take your chat messages and have some fun with it. So give a look there. If you're listening in, tune back to our VODs on Twitch because Buttspot just lets some of the chatters have it. And it's really cool. It's fun. It's goofy.
Especially Butts Denuzo.
Butts Denuzo, man. So
my favorite was when it just responded with "I'm gonna feel gobshite."
It just called you out.
It just said your name.
Now, we're here for some D&D. I mean, some of you are probably here for giveaways, but ticket seems to be, or enter will get you in. So give those a go. Again, one ticket. We'll draw at the end of the show. You don't have to be here in case, some of our friends who are almost at 2 a.m. right now. I think we have a few UK friends who are late in the evening. You don't have to be here. Just hang out for a little bit. Nathan.
Veggies.
Nathan got a veggie redemption already. TikTok points allow you to treat some of the cast and others on screen. We do have dogs who get treats. We do have Nathan who gets wonderful veggie treats. So use those TikTok points that you've been earning so wonderfully by tuning in. While Nathan enjoys that, we'll go into some story time here. So last time you saw our party, Nathan's having a moment here. Last time you saw our party,
I got sugar snap peas thinking it would help because it had sugar in the name.
Snap peas are nasty.
10,000 points for one pea is a lot of points.
but it's so worth it. Tune into the VODs because one carrot and one snap pea is wonderful faces from our dear Nathan Anders.
I'm surprised nobody's been clipping those.
Oh yeah, if you have some fun clipping those for us, we might make GIFs out of them.
Montage.
Yeah, montage. Doing all right, Nathan? Can I continue the story?
We're good.
Okay, cool. So last time we saw the party, they were coming out of an underground dungeon, a wonderful place that had friendly faces, no traps whatsoever, and was welcoming to them with traps and unfriendly faces and death. They were able to solve some of the mysteries of this underground dungeon, get through the forges that had once existed, and recover the hammer that would allow them to break the Stone of Power. Now, they'd rushed back into town, hands up in the air, as they didn't want to be shot by the guard. Garth was blinded, unfortunately, while they were underground. He was starting to regain his sight as we'd finally gotten to the forge where a battle had happened. Hammer, in her last dying breath, handed her personal hammer to Ari, and Thadric, holding the recovered hammer, ready to break the Power Stone, waited for
the rescued hammer.
The rescued hammer.
Truth.
The rescued hammer. There it is. As he was holding the hammer, waiting to break the Power Stone, Garth fumbled in his blindness to put out a mage hand, and Valari, with her mage hand, stretched the Power Stone down onto the anvil. Coming down on the stone a couple times, as Thadric hit the stone, and cracks began to form across this stonework, or this Power Stone. Portals began to open up, showing various things. Some things that the party recognized, others that they didn't. Scenes that looked very familiar, but yet so unfamiliar. They saw what they could have thought to be past, future, and present selves, potentially family, friends, and loved ones. But these portals were popping open and closed, and there were hundreds of small ones into the room, like windows into other lives. And Thadric continued to smash on the stone as the cracks continued to spread to the edges just before the final smash that he believed to break the Power Stone. A large portal opens right next to him, and an orc tumbles backwards and smashes into Thadric and knocks him a little bit away from making that last hit. And the party that had seen these orcs before recognizes the black armor with the white embleming and stripes across it as orcs they'd encountered in the Walking House as they had faced Keth. Now, the orc had fallen back, and before the orc could even pull himself upright and understand where he was at, a figure follows through the portal, large shield in hand, and just comes down with a sword square into the neck of this orc, and the orc drops to its knees and falls over, and the sword gets pulled out of the neck of this orc. And in that moment's time, the portals all begin to flicker and fade, and the portal that these two had walked through sputters out and fades very quickly, and we're left with this huffing and puffing figure, long hair kind of dangling over his face. What do we do?
To be clear, this does not look like the orc, the half orc with the lisp. That
No, this was it looked like a very much like a muscular build military like fashioned orc. He had armor that was very handcrafted, not like a kind of put together, but more like a very distinct set of military gear. He had some embleming on it of this dark metal that had some very white bright stripes across it, with a small skull on like the chest piece. I believe Valari, Garth, and Ari would recognize this as similar to the armor of orcs they had encountered earlier when they had fought on a different island, the island that you met them on. Now, as Jared over there is losing something,
Danusa told me to put gloves on.
Party with this figure that, oh man, next time with this figure that had stepped through and killed the orc, staying there huffing and puffing. What do you do, Party?
I mean,
Figure who had entered the room. What do you do?
Garth didn't really see it. Everything has gone from dark blur to a big light blur. So
Garth, you'd heard it, and you get to see some outlines and shapes. Your vision is slowly coming back. You're thinking about the next 10 or 15 minutes, you'll have full clarity. Like it's almost like if you stared into a light and you can't see for a moment as your eyes adjust. It's just taking a lot longer than that.
gotcha.
So if I may, if I could interject here, I know the party's not deciding. As the party sees this happen, the blade goes into the orc, and you see the orc kind of his reaction of like, oh, the pain, and then he falls off to the side. You see these, I think, Couchtrasek, Jared, you will see, because you got some serious perception, that like probably some vines actually start to creep out from where the sword hit and start to surround the orc as he falls to the side, he kind of gets restrained, so that once he hits the floor and as he's lying on the floor, they almost start to like encompass him. And the elf in front of you guys, after he makes this killing blow, looks up, and there's this like flicker of recognition as he looks at you guys. And no matter what he was doing before, because obviously he came through this portal with a purpose, and part of that was to kill the orc.
Came with an orc.
Yeah,
Say
not
what?
a porpoise.
There was not a porpoise. You came with an orc.
Correct. No porpoise, but a purpose. Now, porpoises may have purposes, but this is not the purpose for the porpoise.
Perhaps.
Perchance. Carry on.
So
We've hit our pinnacle of jokes tonight. It all goes downhill from here.
So he drops the orc, and he looks up and sees all of you, and there's this like light that comes on in his eyes, and he just whispers, "You're alive."
Romeo! And Ari's gonna run up and give him a big old hug.
Rumiel's here. Rumiel?
It's that bird dude.
With that, you say it's that bird dude, and as you look around, again, because you have high perception, you will distinctly notice there is no bird in the room. In fact, I think, Ari, as you move closer, something you will notice as you move in and kind of go in for this hug. Rumiel never wore, like, he always had leather armor and a wooden shield and a staff. But this Rumiel, as you like go to embrace him, you can feel metal like plates under his leather armor. and he's got this metal shield with a metal sword, and even some of his armor, as it like you can see the edges of the leather, there's like chainmail like peeking out from different places.
We have a new hype.
But Denuzo.
Nat 20 to the DM. Moving on.
Thank you, sir. Noted.
I wouldn't say that yet. At least let Scott make a decision.
Okay. That was really evil.
It always happens. It always happens that way. It just. I mean, if he wants to give it to Austin, there it is.
Wait,
Help kill the party. Well,
wait.
I am on task now via Scott Denuzo, so.
Yeah, so do note that
I cast
down. You
heat
do have a
metal.
nat 20.
Okay. I will mark that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I think Ari commits to what she has decided.
Oh, sure. Sure.
We'll continue the hug and we'll like pat his back and then like step back and like look at him. And would just say, "Are you Romeo's what happened to you?"
So Romeo, upon like he sees you all and he says, "You're alive," and then he gets this hug and he like fully embraces the hug, like he's all about it, 100% in. And then he steps back and he kind of looks at you funny, and
You? Go ahead.
and then he looks over at like Garth and Ari. And then he gets this like panicked look in his eyes, and he spins around and sees that whatever portal he's gone through has now disappeared, and he like bangs on his shield and shouts something. You're not quite sure. Like some of you speak Elvish, but even those who speak Elvish are not quite sure what he said. But it does not sound particularly happy.
At this point, I do need everyone to make a perception roll, please. Every single person.
Okay.
I did it.
Can I do that at disadvantage?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Are you still blind, sir?
He can see shapes. He can see like some stuff, but his perception is not great because of it.
Remember how
like
I
how
made
my
him
eyes
walk
used
like
to be.
3 miles with his
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
up?
Oh yeah, dude. I gotta say, I so appreciated that. That was amazing.
So I just want to really quick. So my rolls were a natural 20 on the burnished bronze dice, the same type of dice that we're giving away today. If you just do exclamation point enter or
Boom.
exclamation point ticket in the chant. But then because it's at disadvantage, the other dice, also blacksmith craft dice, helping tell a story, giving me a 3.
Perfect.
Well,
Plus 2 is a 5.
I've also got those blacksmith craft burnished bronze dice. I got 16 on the dice, so we're sitting pretty. Thank you, blacksmith craft.
Valari, Thadric, and Ari, what are your perception rolls?
So that's a 23, Jared.
Perfect.
Just for
Thank you.
total.
My roll was a 12. I will say my passive is 15. So
Okay.
14.
14?
27, Bob.
27.
27,
Bob. All right. With that, everyone over 15 sees a movement off
Where?
behind where Rumo had come through.
Now I'm facing that way. Do I see that?
You won't. It's kind of off to the side. You're looking straight where you came from. If you're like looking over Rumo's shoulder, it's off to your right a bit more. So you're focused.
Yeah. I saw them turned and I was looking for the portal, and I have now. So I missed this completely, even with
you
23.
missed this completely. Yep.
Got it.
Because you have a focus there.
Oh, for sure. He's looking for something.
All of you do here. And then some clopping of hooves, but not so much hooves per se. They sound almost too hard. What you do see movement of are things that stand roughly about 1.5 feet, 2 foot tall. So about half of Valari's shortened height currently. Remember, she lost about 1.5 feet in the last episode for some time. And when you get a little bit of sight of these things, they're very hairy little creatures, but you see like a set of goat's legs almost coming out from under the hair, a couple little muscly arms, and at both sides of these three creatures, some ropes kind of dangle on both of their sides. So 2 ropes on each of these creatures. Their hair moves a bit, and as you look and you get a glimpse of like the face and the arms, it's very stone-like here. And they come clopping your way, and they spread out a little bit and then duck behind a couple of the anvils in the room, and one behind the furnace. So you see them briefly, and then they duck off to the sides to get out of your view.
So when Rumiel / evil Rumiel, I haven't sorted that yet. When he showed up, Fadric, perfect world, I would have gone not complete stealth, but I would have slowly, like sleight of hand, been trying to gather up the shards.
Yep.
Of the thing that we just, so they're not just out.
You didn't land the final hit. It is laying open there, and because concentration hasn't been broken, the mage hands are still holding the power stone, ready for like its final hit to break.
But it's like large and flat now, right?
It's large and flat. It probably is a bit larger than one would see like Captain America's shield. Not by much, but just a little bit bigger. That it's a fairly sizable piece.
And we know that it can really only be broken with this hammer in my right hand.
Correct.
When the unicorn hair is around it, right?
Yeah, in its current malleable state.
So there's a lot of unknowns here, and we just went through a hell of a lot to get this thing.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm going to take your lead of Captain America's shield, and with my left hand, kind of scoop it up so that I have it.
As you scoop it up, you feel a bit of tension as the mage hands kind of hold on to it. But because it's only a combined like 20 pounds worth of weight and pull, you're able to pull it up against you if you wish.
Yeah, I just want to kind of keep it like within the.
Yeah.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I understood that reference.
I understood that reference.
I didn't understand that reference, so carry on.
Were these goat things cute, or were they monstrous?
You didn't quite get an understanding of them. They were very, very hairy, and the little bit of like flesh that you could see looks stone-like. So if you want to think them cute, cool. They had a human face, and they were standing on the back 2 legs.
Okay, no, I was thinking baby goat because baby goats are pretty cute.
No, they were
the cutest things ever.
Right? I wanted a pet baby goat, but our neighbor. Well,
I used to
They
raise
sound
baby
kind of
goats.
satire-like, or
yeah, similar, yes, but like a stocky, almost like if you
Baby
had
goat.
a dwarf satyr.
Oh, so like Philatides.
Yeah, think of Philatides, but
This is a
mix him
family
with
show,
Gimli.
guys.
Mix him with Gimli.
I said titties, not titties.
Whoa!
Wow.
There it is. Now you did. We just went according to American standards. I think we just hit PG.
Well, if we're talking in British standards, didn't I just swear? Sort of.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
Did we?
anyways. That's not okay. Anyways.
That's not okay.
Art's gonna turn to Ramil, having seen these little things scamper away, and say, ask him, did you bring weird stone goat pets with you?
He's gonna spin around when you say that and kind of like assume a battle stance. Like shield up, sword ready, and start looking around. And they're not with me. Where did you see them?
They went that way. There were 3 of them. They're okay.
Okay, so Rumiel's gonna take a look around the room and see if he can see them.
To see what he can see.
Because obviously he missed them the first time.
Please roll whatever you believe this to be, perception or an investigation.
I was gonna say, do you want investigation or perception on that?
If you're wanting to actively investigate, I'd say you'd probably take a few steps with, just to kind of see into the room. Otherwise, if you want to roll perception, that's just a quick glance across.
I think he would be more like, because he doesn't know where they're at. It's going to be like a quick, like, can I see movement? I'm just scanning.
Perception would be what we do here.
So I'm doing perception. We'll do 17 on perception.
17 on perception. You don't see any motion at this point.
Okay.
Because of what had happened, you had heard the grunting and grumbling, and then it went silent after they kind of disappeared out of sight for the rest of the party.
Gotcha. Since I don't see anything, I'm actually going to like my back to the party, kind of facing the room, and start to like back towards them, almost like a front line of defense type thing. Like I'm closing a ring around them.
Okay.
Against anything that's might be coming from the outside.
All right. As you're doing that, I need perception checks from Valari, Rumil, and Thadric.
I'm Thadric.
Not doing too bad. Really digging these blacksmith craft dice. The burnished bronze, but you might be able to win later tonight.
Hey.
You're doing well for me. We're going to 18 on that, boss.
18.
17.
17. Thadric.
23.
23.
Ooh, Thadric, killing it.
Thadric is the only one that sees. There are some snake-like movements across the floor. Thadric, you see it as it comes up towards you. As this snake-like movement comes up towards you and kind of rears up next to your leg, you notice it seems to be a very metallic-looking rope. Valari and Rumil, however, do not see it. You do feel something move around your ankles. I need dexterity checks from each of you, please.
Is it a save or just a...
It is a dexterity save, yes, thank you.
Okay, save. Copy that.
Dexterity save.
One spell left, guys.
Nope, I did not save. That's
and then they failed me. We got a 9.
9 and a 5. So both of you get quickly entangled by this metallic rope that you see. It wraps around your feet quickly and pulls them together and then zooms up your body. And it almost, not mummifies you, but very similar aspect. It wraps around you very quickly. The rest of the party catches sight of this, meaning Ari and Garth. They see Valari and Rumil get quickly wrapped up by this rope and fall over as it pulls their feet together and drops them to the side.
So am I grappled and prone?
You're grappled and prone at the current moment.
So
got the news I was calling you out, my dude.
I'll mention. I'm assuming I'm fairly close to everyone at this point, like within 20 feet of everyone.
Yeah, you're within 20 feet of everyone.
Okay.
And it is a very metallic rope. It is a woven structure. It is not a chain. It is a woven structure that looks
So
more
like a cable.
Yeah, more like a cable, like a suspension cable is what viewers would understand that to be.
So I got a 9. Valari, you got what, 4 or 5?
5.
5. Okay. So somehow being closer to Rumil, you feel like maybe you did a little bit better than you would have normally with your save, and you may have actually gotten a 6, and Rumil might have actually gotten a 10.
You'd still get wrapped up and fall over.
I'm just saying. But that would be something that, like, man, I feel I didn't do good, but wow, that was better than I thought that I would do.
So like every time I take a test at school.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you feel like being close to this guy, you might actually do better on some of these saves than maybe you thought you would have done.
There it is.
With the 27 perception, can I see where these cables originated from?
Yeah, back in the corner where the motion had started. So if we're looking at the forge, let's just say forge is here at the bottom of the room. Rumiel came off to one side of the forge, and then this back corner just further down into the room. So the party's looking down at the forge. If you're looking at it, it's like to your party's right. It's back in the corner behind a couple of the anvils and one of the furnaces that's sitting there. You can't quite tell exactly where it came from, but it seems to be in that general direction.
Did one of the goat-legged people come in and head that way?
That's where you believe the motion and all of them had been near. So somewhere in that direction. So you believe it came from their direction. As you see the rope that had swung up in front of you, the cable that had swung up in front of you, you kind of dodge as it tries to grab at your leg, and you step out of the way a little bit. The two of you that are wrapped up and falling over, Volari, I need you to roll a wild magic, please, to get this going.
We are restrained and about to be prone, or is
You
it
are-
just
we are
around
prone.
legs?
You are grappled. It wrapped around your legs, pulled your feet together, and then just like shimmied up your body and
Oh, okay.
grabbed
So
you close and
everything's
tight.
locked and we're falling. Got it. Cool. Thanks.
All right.
So there's a $5.
We have a $5 tip, which means we draw a mild magic scroll here.
Here we go.
But I
Here we
feel
go.
like the message is really important because there's like some wishes towards it. It says, please adversely affect Jared's character, please and thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Well, let's see
Adversely
what
affect the GM.
I think they're meaning you, sir.
Scott Denuzo, right?
No.
Thank you, Cadence, for that.
Cade.
All right.
Snaky guy didn't even talk in chat first.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It's all blank here.
This is amazing.
What do we got?
As this happens, a storm cloud brews in the top of the forge here,
Oh, wow.
and it starts raining and sleeting. The floor
Oh.
becomes a bit slippery as there's now sleet and slush quickly coming down on you all.
Oh, God.
That really tempers my steel.
Yeah, so that just happened.
Meanwhile, he hasn't even resolved my role yet.
Yeah, so we have that. This rain cloud just starts giving it to you guys.
This is going to be fun.
We're in slow motion here as Garth and Ari are just like, what's happened? So what did you roll?
41.
41. What is 41?
I don't know. That's
What
your
do
job.
we say? Oh, please roll 2 d10s.
Oh,
That's
God.
never good.
5 unicorns appear.
An 8 and a 10.
Yep. You gain up to 18 hit points back. You can't go over your max hit points.
I gained
You
my
gain
points.
18 health back.
Whoa! I will take that.
As you fall
Nice.
over into the slush that is now starting to go across the floor, it comes up against you, and the cool, refreshing slush like makes some of your wounds feel a bit nicer. Some of your bruises from your last little bit just kind of feel better, and you gain some health back. And then you realize, oh wait, the feelings were on the other side, not in the slush. It must have been your wild magic that have occurred here. Now, here we go. I think we've resolved everything. We have Rumiel and Volari falling over, grappled. Thadric kind of stepped over and kicked this cable a little bit out of the way, so it's not grappling at him. It's slushing down on the party. We've essentially gotten ourselves into a battle state, so I need everyone to roll for initiative, and we'll go from there. And then as we're rolling for initiative, Garth and Ari, do you have any reactions to any of this?
These are some really interesting blurs.
Oh.
The one
Dude, that
time.
initiative roll.
The one time.
23 on initiative for Rumiel.
23 on initiative for Rumiel.
19.
Oh, he could have done that on his save.
19 for Garth. Ari?
Yes, that's a number. The number I counted it. 15.
All right.
Got
I
there.
was like, I don't accept yes as a initiative roll.
Yes.
Valara, your initiative.
Yes, I rolled.
18.
18. Cedric,
Yes.
2. Okay.
You grab a snoop.
So I rolled a 3, but it was a
Oh, no, no.
natural 1.
You rolled a 3 total. All right.
I rolled
Okay.
3,
So
but it was a natural 1. So
okay, perfect.
It's going great.
We've got,
as
we
long
got
as it's
Boop the
perception,
Snoot
I
here.
got it. But everything
Oh,
else,
she doesn't want booping. Okay.
No
Okay,
boobs.
no, they paid for it, baby.
They paid for it with their TikTok points. You need to be booped. There it is. Boop the Snoot. She doesn't usually mind. She's sleepy today. I think that's everybody. I will roll our blink dog.
can we
Oh,
add
jeez.
a slightly more expensive one for Lindsay to boop your snoot?
Boop Jared's
Just
snoot.
hand
Yes.
reaches over and just.
Just arm and boop.
I mean, yes. You have the power. Feel free to. Boop the DM snoot. All right. This is fun. This is fun,
Yeah, seriously.
everybody. Let's see here. And we are echoing a little bit, but that's okay. Rolling initiative. At the top of the turn order, we have Rumiel. Rumiel, you are starting grappled and prone. You may,
What a way
however,
to start.
Oh,
That's
that's just what a way. Welcome back, buddy.
right. I
you-
come in and I'm like, oh my God, they're alive. And then he's just like, and falls over. Like, you're
Life,
just killing my entrance, Jared. I had this
life
whole thing
finds a
planned,
way.
and-
No, I think it's good. I like it. It's dramatic and entertaining.
So
That's true.
You-
Entertaining.
you may roll a dexterity save to
Okay.
see if you can get out.
I was going to make sure that wasn't just a
Yeah.
straight strength because that would have sucked.
Nah,
Okay.
dexterity.
Ooh.
Scott, we need to hear
we want
more.
to tell a story here.
No, we do not. We're a family-friendly show.
That's going to be a 13 on the die.
A 13 on the die.
Well, no,
it's
13 total, not on the die.
a 13 total. With your 13 total, you wiggle around a little bit and you feel that the slush might have helped you just a little, and you're able to slide free of this rope, and it's kind of wiggling and flailing at you as you get free. So you are free, but you are still prone.
Yes.
You have used all of your move action to get free. So
Even
you can't.
okay, so I use my
you can't
action to
stand
get
it.
free, but I still have no movement.
You used all of your movement to
Okay.
get free. Yes.
Okay.
So you have an action if you can cast anything from the floor and hope that it works, or slice out at this rope. You're
I'm not
allowed to.
over
But
Romeo. I can't. I guess like if the rope is still a viable enemy,
Mhm.
like and since I believe they came over from my plane, I'm going to recognize these as being a potential threat. So
they didn't come from your plane. You've not seen them before, but it does
Well,
seem
he
to be a
wrapped me up.
potential.
Okay, good
yeah,
to know.
yeah.
Good to know. So Rumiel doesn't recognize these, but he sees them as being like still alive. So he's like, "Nah, man, you ain't coming after me again." He's
They-
gonna swing out.
They're
with
just
that-
trying to hug you.
No, I don't want the hug. Only Ari hugs. That's it.
Oh,
No chain hugs, cable hugs. Not about that life.
cable
So
management.
he's gonna swing out with his sword, and
Which
he's going to
you've
try
broken
and
free as it was in your hand. Yep.
yeah, because it was in my hand. It was up for defense.
Yep.
And then once it comes out, he's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna get you," and we'll see if that's enough. That's an 18.
You swing, and your sword kind of grazes this cable as it wiggles out of the way. You miss.
So that's a hit. That's a miss. That's a miss.
It's a miss.
18 that missed. I just want to throw that out there to everyone else. Ye be warned.
Garth, you are able to see some of this movement. It is a bit blurry. You can't quite make out who exactly, but you do see a larger figure kind of strangled and then get pulled free from this rope that you see a little bit of glinting movement on the floor. You do see someone else wrapped up and wiggling on the floor, and you believe that might have been Valari based on the voices you heard.
Okay. Do
Very
I?
Han Solo of you.
Yes, thank you. Do we? Do I see any blurs that I haven't heard voices of my friends coming from?
Other than Rumiel being the newest blur to the room, you don't see any other motion. You do see a little bit of glinting in front of Thadric as he was hammering, and now he's standing next to the forge with the glowing shield essentially at his side, and there's something kind of like wiggling in front of him.
Okay. I think. I think the best thing I can do is probably. Yeah. I'm going to cast at that like shape. So, because to Garth's knowledge, that could just be a snake.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not pythons attacking.
That's fair.
It's moving similar to it, yeah.
So he's going to cast, because he's got the shape and he doesn't know much else, he's just going to cast Magic Missile at it.
Perfect.
So that is 3d4. As I grab my lovely dice. Yeah, that's not great, but 8 damage.
8 damage.
8 is
The
8.
magic missiles hit, and as they hit, at one point, Thadric, you're watching this. You seem to see when magic missile hits near the top of it, it kind of blasts apart a little bit like you'd expect a rope to, but you see metallic fibers float down to the floor in almost a hair-like fashion. They don't drop as quickly as metal, but they do kind of catch a little loft like a few loose hairs might. The second hits and a third hits, and you see very similar. And this rope lost a few feet. As soon as you look at it, no, it didn't have feet. I was waiting for that joke. No, it lost a few feet in length. What you do notice is it's a bit shorter. You see only about 20-ish feet kind of coil up in front of you, when you believe that it was closer to 30 or 40 feet prior. So it did hit and it did do damage. Valari, you are laying in the slush and all wrapped up. Garth, you didn't have any bonus actions or anything, correct?
No, I think Garth is going to just... I'm playing Garth as less... Just like still figuring out where he is. But
Perfect.
Let's take this moment to point out the gifted subs from Scott Denuzo.
Thank you.
That's Butts Denuzo, please.
Butts Denuzo. When Twitch lets us rename or nickname our viewers, it's coming your way. Butts Denuzo.
Let's go.
Thank you for those gifted subs. We thank you for tuning in, viewing, and supporting us in the community. And with that, causing chaos. This is awesome. Valari, you are tangled. You may roll a dexterity save if you wish to break free, or you can just chill.
Well, I guess I might as well try and break free.
Might as well.
We're breaking free.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I got a 9.
9 total?
Yeah.
9 total. You wiggle a bit, and the rope kind of comes in on you a little tighter, and you can't get free at this moment. It seems to be fighting back against you, mostly just trying to keep you from going anywhere.
I got you.
You hear, and it seems like it's almost coming from under the stone floor below you.
What was that again?
You heard. You can rewind. This is that's a thing you can go do. You pull up your phone, wait for the VOD. In a few hours,
Okay,
you may
hold
get
on.
that. No, you can't rewind it live. Sorry. That's in a few hours. The VOD will allow you to do that, or you can go try and clip it right now. If you want to make a clip of that and share it to the world, you may. Twitch has that feature, and that's the
Was it
only way you
because
can
he
go
was
back
singing?
right now. No. But what you hear is a really strange noise that you heard in the corner, but it seems to have like moved almost up under your feet. Ari, as you hear that and you look around, you look down and just in front of you, a head pops out of the stone as if it were almost water. The stone being water. The head pops out and the hair kind of flows out with it. And then an arm with a club pops out as well. It will try to bring down this club on your foot. And it swings for a 17.
Nope.
So it smashes right next to your foot, and then you hear, ah, and then it swings one more time, and that is a 20 to hit. 20 total.
Tie.
So it smashes down on your foot, and you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
8 points of stub toe damage.
I take 5. Thank you very much.
You take 5, and then you take 2 points of additional bludgeoning damage as the ground under you like shakes as the club had come down and it like smashes up against your feet.
How does that work? Is this all part of the same damage because she's got damage resistances?
Yes, this is the second. So it's like 2 parts of damage. Like when you get stabbed with a dagger that has poison on it, you get the piercing and then you get the poison. So it's 2 parts, both bludgeoning.
Okay. I get 3 less damage.
So then that doesn't do any damage. You feel your boots rattle under your feet quite hard then.
Do I heal by 1?
No.
No. It's 3 less, not reverse bully.
So is it still like sleeting and icy and stuff?
It's sleeting and icy.
Affecting our like attacks and everything?
What it will affect is if you do move, you'll have less movement speed, so you'll be halved in your movement speed, and I'll have you roll some dexterity checks to keep you from falling over.
Checking in on that.
You hear some more giggling and grumbling like you heard prior, but this one comes up right next to Valari. Yep, this one comes up right next to Valari. And Valari, you see a face right in front of your face, and then a club comes up to swing at you. It's a 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So it smashes into your side for... Why is this not rolling? Roll! You get 10 points initially of bludgeoning damage.
Initially.
And then as it hit, the follow-up tremor to that damage is 3 points of bludgeoning damage on top of that.
That's still less than what my wild magic gave me back.
The other hand comes up, and it looks at Thadric, who had been fighting one of the snake-like creatures. And in this other hand, there's a rock in it. And it throws the rock at Thadric, trying to hit him in like the shoulder. And the throw is 23 to hit. So that would most likely hit, unless there's something magical that I don't know about.
That's a miss.
Oh. How did I let you guys get this powerful?
So let's see. My base,
You let them make Hydra
base armor
armor.
plus dex is 20, plus my armored bonus from Soul of the Forge, 21, plus my shield with continual light is +2, plus the magic bonus from Shield of the Forge brings me to 24.
Holy wow.
That's like the armor class of that giant lizard thing.
And then I'll cast Shield of Faith and get 26.
Well, the rock flies up and bounces off of your armor and just kind of grazes it, so you're aware that something came at you. Ari, it's your turn.
I want to play whack-a-mole.
All right.
There you go.
Light hammer in hand.
Yep.
Ah!
All right.
Right down the guy who smashed my toe.
All right. Let's do this.
That'll be 20 to hit.
Hits.
Awesome. And that'll be 10 points of damage.
Okay.
First one. And
10
then,
points of bludgeoning.
Yes.
All right.
Ouch. D4s hurt to roll. Darn. Okay, this one's not going to hit. The next one would be a 16 to hit.
16 to hit does not.
Okay. But I smash real close to his head just to intimidate him, and I growl.
Please roll for intimidation.
There it is. Come on.
Oh. So -1.
He laughs, and in his stone face, you didn't think that a stone creature could do this, but tears and water start to well up in his eyes, and you just hope that it was some of the sleet and rain that was coming down that caused that reaction.
Does he start to erode?
No.
He's stone.
Stone.
Yeah, but
erode.
Water?
We wouldn't erode that quickly. It's a very slow process.
I don't know the magic behind the science stone.
It's not magic,
cube.
it's science.
Magic
acid
tears.
Magic.
Now,
Sarton's so mad at us.
I'm not mad at you. I'll just get revenge. Don't worry. So you see,
Man, she's still got two of us trapped on the floor. What?
so you see on one of the anvils where these ropes had come from, one of these goat satyr dwarven folk hops up and like grumbles a few things in Dwarven. Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
No.
I could if I cast comprehend languages.
I do.
but it's not my turn.
So
Two.
the Andrasex. So you roughly hear some broken speech around something along the lines of "Where are we? What did you do to us? You'll pay for it."
Oh,
And
fun.
that's all you can understand. But you hear a few other words in there. The sentences come out very messy, but that's about what you hear. And when you hear that, what you see is a little bit of a sparkle in front of Ari. And when that sparkle appears, Ari, you get a joyous feeling in the back of your head, like your favorite song that you've heard in any of your pubs begins to play. And as you do that, your foot starts to tap. And then your other foot starts to kind of shuffle. And then it turns into a little bit of a whole body motion.
She's still on the floor, restrained at this point. I just want to point
Valari
that out.
is.
He's
Valari.
like-
I am.
I'm good.
Ari
Oh, this is Ari. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Is this like dance battle, Jumanji style?
There you
you are now starting to understand that you're dancing unintentionally as this little sparkle of light comes up in front of you, and it's taking over. Like you can't choose not to. You just hear your favorite song in the back of your head, and so you're like shuffling in place and really starting to enjoy whatever music is going on.
Am I stepping on the gnome?
What's that?
You can really dance.
Step on the little dwarf?
If you do, you bump into him a little bit. As far as I understand it, you weren't the world's best dancer, but if you were, I'll let you roll for dance.
I mean,
Performance check.
Performance check. There we go.
Yeah. How well she doing this?
My performance check. Well, I had a 15 on the die, but with my -2. 13?
13. All right, so you've got a little bit of a shuffle going on. Your feet never really leave the floor. You
Well,
kind of
it's
bump
also
into them a little
icy.
bit. It is a little icy.
You're
Yeah.
gonna need lessons
go.
before the wedding.
Yeah, definitely. But you stay in your spot. If anything, you kind of turn around a little bit. You don't like dance across the floor.
Triple pirouette.
Yeah.
Glissade.
There is no save for this at the moment. You will make a save on your turn as you enjoy the music.
Ice, baby.
Basically, this creature makes a big grin as he sees our dancing fighter here, and then he looks across the rest of the group as we're kind of in disarray at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I'm
is
okay.
Astro. Yeah, you're okay for the moment. We'll see
I'm also
what
just
happens.
a dude.
You're also
I'm
just
okay.
a dude. It is Astro's turn, and he sees the creature on the floor smacking at Valari, and so he teleports and tries to bite out at it, and gets his mouth kind of buried in the hair and starts snarling and biting, but it doesn't seem to do much damage here. And it is now Thadric's turn.
Come on, buddy.
I don't have a lot going on, but you said there's this dwarf pygmy
Stature thing.
satyr,
Yeah.
I would like to throw one of my, I believe I have 4 left. Yeah. I'd like to toss one of my 4 remaining daggers into his face.
Just toss it lightly underhand.
No,
Yeah,
like if I had my druthers, I'd take the blade, like the point, and go right in between his smiling, stupid mouth.
Right in between his smiling, stupid mouth.
I want to sever his spinal column, but from the front.
It's just getting more real here.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
A 23 to hit.
23 to hit. What was the roll on the die?
16.
Okay. It'll hit.
Yeah. I hope it does. If it doesn't, we're in serious trouble.
And then the weapon damage itself is 5.
It's 5. All right.
But because I'm awesome and a cleric, Divine Strike once on each of your turns when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can deal an extra 1d8 fire damage.
Yep. All right.
So 5 plus 2 fire.
Okay.
Get it.
And then
So
I
you hit.
will draw another dagger, get ready for again.
All right, so you hit, and as you're aiming for his little grinning mouth, you actually catch his cheekbone, and you make a crack across his face. And you can see it visibly, and a bit of his face kind of tilts a little, as he seems to be a very stone creature. This crack has shifted a little bit. He's still grinning at you, just now a little bit of a crooked grin. Back to the top of the turn order, we have Rumil, who is freed, but on the ground.
Okay. He is going to stand.
Oh. Interesting.
He's going to stand up, stick the
And?
landing.
Yeah.
And I believe I still have this chain thing in front of me, yes?
Yep, you do.
All right, I'm going to get rid of that so it doesn't pull me back to the ground before anything else happens.
Okay.
Chain thingy. Come on, 24.
That hits.
Yes!
Valari, to follow up on Thadric's turn,
oh, sorry.
the rope around you, Valari, went slack after Thadric made the hit. So it's now just kind of around you. You're
Probably
essentially
didn't
prone.
notice that.
No, you did not. So it does hit this chain, this rope. What is your damage, sir?
Okay. Well, we're about to find out. Yep, we're doing it. So he's a little upset at this here chain thing because he's in a new place. There's some people with relationships that we have not delved into and we'll get to later on in the episode. And so this chain has now impeded everything and he's very not happy. So he gets a good line of sight on it, strikes out.
Okay.
And so his initial is going to be... Oh, that's what I'm talking about. So he does 14. I will ask you, Jared, is this thing immune to poison damage since it's metal?
That Jared?
You, the DM.
No.
Oh, we
is
determined
not.
I'm the other Jared.
Yes,
it is
other
not
Jared.
correct.
Okay.
Jared has spoken. The other Jared agrees.
So it's gonna do 15 damage to this chain initially. But as he rears back, you see his sword start to glow with this like white light. And as he strikes forwards, there's almost this like minor explosion as this radiant light just seems to emanate from the point where his rapier strikes. As he casts a divine smite on his blade. And he's going to do an additional 2d8 of damage.
I just looked at his lower third tag for the first time.
Somebody just looked at that. And he's going to do an additional 13 damage.
As you stab into this rope, you hit and it glows. And right where you hit, it glows bright. And then just like that half second later, that glow ripples down this rope. And as it does, it explodes into a bunch of hair-like fibers that float down to the ground into the slush. The entirety of the rope just ripples down and explodes that way. And now you've got these weird crystally fibers laying in the slush, and it is gone and dead. The rope in front of Rumiel is gone.
Gone, baby, gone. Rope is gone.
Also, for those who have a high enough passive perception, as he's stabbing out, you can see that the blade of his rapier is actually green instead of silver. We'll throw that out there. Little details.
What? And you guys had only seen Rumiel a few days prior.
Yeah.
He's all like, look at the shiny glowing weapons. And Ari and I are like, look at all our glowing weapons too.
I see Rumiel using a sword. I'm like, no, this isn't Rumiel. Like, no.
Anything else to your turn? Not Rumiel.
Well, I believe I used at least half my movement to stand.
Correct. You have half
is
of
it
that
just half?
remaining. It's
Okay.
just half. So you have half of your other half. So you have like 7 feet that you can move.
Well, half of my half. Let's see, I've got 30.
So
you went
quarter.
30 to
So,
15.
yeah, so about 7, 8.
Yeah. 7, we round down.
There is one satyr who has made himself very known. Yes.
Very known, standing up. And then there's one that is clubbing at Valari. And
he's
there's
probably
one.
closest.
He's kind of like peeked up out of the stone on the floor. And then there's one the same between Ari's feet that had smashed at her, but she's now dancing kind of in front of him.
I'm assuming Ari's behind me. Valari is kind of next to me.
Yeah.
Or is there? Okay. So I'm probably going to see the one next to me first. I'm going to start moving in that direction. How far is that?
Towards Valari, it's only about 5 or 6 feet. You guys are fairly close. They were
So I'm
close
gonna
to the
spend
stone.
The rest
Yeah.
of my movement to try and like kind of shuffle over in that direction.
All right. So you're able to like slide through this slush that's building up on the floor and get to where Valari's at. You do notice as you get over there that the rope around her isn't as tight. It is kind of gone a little slack and starting to fall off at certain points.
Okay.
Garth, it is your turn.
Has Garth seen any other blurs appear that are not his party?
I would say that you probably saw the blur that showed up on top of the anvil across the room as it made a cackle and there was a dagger thrown at it. So you got a little attention that direction.
Okay, and that one's still up, right?
Yeah, that one's up. That's the one that started cackling, and then you started hearing some weird boots shuffling sound near you.
Yeah, that cackling probably drew my attention since my other senses are heightened at the moment.
Yes.
I will look at
sure.
that one. And I mean, will we count that I can see it?
Enough. If it's something like magic missile, we'll allow it to hit. If it's an area effect, I'll allow you to do like we did last episode. You just have to breach a certain number in order for it to get close enough to hit it.
This is Mind Spike. So all I have to do is see the creature, and I see it's moving, and I see its shape, and I recognize it as a creature.
Yep, we'll allow that to hit. That's fine. Because that's not like a travel time. That's an instant. I'm hitting you.
So you will need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
That would be an 8 total.
You will fail a Wisdom saving throw. I will roll 3d8s. 3 of them.
Get it.
3 to cover up the fact that you were opening up this bag of snacks.
3.
Wait, really
Oh,
quick.
goodness.
To just talk about
Speaking of that,
Snyder's,
there's dice to give away.
Snyder's of Hanover. Okay, they're twisted pretzels. The sour cream and onion. Can't beat it. Can't beat
Not a sponsor, hopefully in the future.
it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're listening.
There's some good rolls right there.
Cheers, Jared.
17 psychic damage will be done to the character, and I now always know where it is.
All right.
Ooh.
So there's that.
Well played,
17,
Mr. Anderson.
17 points of psychic damage. You hear kind of a as it hits, and you know it hit. And at that moment, Ari, the song in the back of your head fades. And you stop shuffling in place, and you realize fully that you were actually dancing there, and it wasn't like you were just in the heat of battle and getting into your stride. It was like, oh, whoops. Garth, you do essentially see an outline of this creature now, and you see a bit more of the form given that you are aware of it. You haven't seen this before, but from what you do understand about it, you've seen satyrs of some shape or form in a distant past. So it reminds you of that, but it's a lot squattier and a lot smaller than you'd expect it to be.
Okay.
So you're aware of its creature and its structure. Do you have anything else for your turn there, Garth?
That'll do it. Again,
That'll
I think
do it.
he's very hesitant to move still. So
Yeah. Valari, the rope around you is gone slack, so you feel like you can just kind of brush it off and stand up.
Yeah, so I'm saying I'm going to stand up.
All right. There is this little dude that just smacked you, so if you want to stand up and do something, you may, or if you just want to not stand up and, chromatic orb. I know how you do.
Can she chromatic orb while she's restrained? Like that requires.
She's
I'm
not
not
restrained at the
restrained.
point.
The
rope,
cable went.
she feels like she can just kind of brush it off without any.
Oh, it's that slack. I thought it just
Yeah.
loosened a little bit. Okay. that
No,
makes
it's
No, it like fell off.
the forces behind it now make it feel like a light rope around.
How
Wait, there's a DM boop. Did we get a redemption for that?
No,
or are we
but-
waiting for
no,
it?
only because I'm here and not at home.
All right. So I luck out this week. All right. What do you wish to do? As you're thinking over that, just a second. For those of you who might have tuned in after we've made the announcement, exclamation point enter or exclamation point ticket in chat will allow you to enter. You'll see that Austin tried to enter again, but he can't.
It's
you
an
can get a ticket.
example.
I know. You can get a ticket into our little raffle that we're doing to give away some blacksmith craft dice, the burnished bronze style, and also a second winner will allow you to get a year subscription of Encounter Plus. So that's an iOS and Mac app that you can get all of the extra features for. Outside of what the free version would give you. So do that, exclamation point ticket, exclamation point enter, whatever it may be, get in the running, and we will draw that at the end of the show. All right, enough time? You know what you're doing?
maybe.
What are we doing?
How tall is he?
So you see maybe about a foot or so coming out of the ground, and it's from like chest up. So it's like got two little arms out, and there's a mat of fluffy hair, and it's close enough to you that you see it's a very gray stone that makes up his flesh per se.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna do an unarmed strike.
Okay.
I already rolled, but before I describe it, I want to know the armor class of the thing, so I can know if my hit is gonna.
Oh, so you need. Okay.
She wants you to resolve it before she describes it.
No.
Okay.
Just give me your number.
It's a 14.
14.
Does that hit? No. Okay. Well, I was doing an unarmed strike.
Okay. How are you gonna try and unarmed strike it? Let's explain it, and I'll give you the flavor.
No, I wanted it to be cool, and I was gonna be fun and do something stupid like headbutt the guy, but it didn't work. So.
As you notice that it's stone, you just take your fist and you just kind of bop on top of its head, hoping you can like drop it into the ground, and you slam down next to it as Astra's face kind of pops up, and you realize that Astra was still attacking from the backside, and you just kind of like dodge out of the way so you don't hit Astra unintentionally.
If we learned anything from Paul Blart Mall Cop, it's that nobody wins with a headbutt.
If you haven't seen it, Paul Blart Mall Cop, I think it's on Netflix. Have fun.
But if you've seen Finding Nemo,
See, I've seen Finding Nemo, but not Paul Blart. But Paul Blart does look funny. So
I found a Blart before.
what? There was like
Stone.
3 different answers there.
Yep.
I also have not seen Paul Blart.
Well,
I know what we're doing tonight.
it's the weekend. You know what you're doing. We go now to the creature
but to have
right
it be
between
so fun.
Ari's feet.
Jeez.
Valari, did you want to stand up or anything, or do you?
I
Want
already stood
Oh, you
up.
stood up. Okay,
Remember,
cool.
that's how I was gonna hit him on the head.
Okay.
I already.
She was gonna stand up and then like headbutt the
I already
floor.
said
She's
I
just
stood
gonna-
up. It was the first thing I
All
did.
power down. Okay, perfect. So you stood up. You almost hit the thing, and then you
Is
dodged.
this thing on? Like, I don't understand.
So we go to the one between Ari's feet, and yes, we're in separate rooms, completely. So we
So-
go
This is proof, video evidence that he doesn't hear what I
to
said.
Ari's feet. Did you guys hear that? So we go to the one that's swinging down at her toes. It's a 7, doesn't hit. It swings a second time with a nat 1.
Oh.
And it hits its own head.
As it goes back, its club gets stuck into the ground and almost like fuses into the floor. And it goes to swing forward and it gets caught and it's like tugging and pulling. And you hear, and it just sits there and looks around. And then it looks up at you and its eyes are really big and scared. And it's essentially just stuck there trying to pull its club out of the ground. We will let you have advantage on it if you wish to attack.
Yes, I do.
So we go to the one that Valari attempted to headbutt, and it swings out at Valari and misses her toes. And because we have a Rumiel over there, it swings at Rumiel for a 19 to hit.
Negative,
No,
boss.
it misses your toes as well. I just need to get you guys
Steel-toed boots.
steel-toed boots. All right,
They're very
so
handy in cases like this.
we go to Ari.
They're for your feet, Austin.
Yes. I have
We
a
go to
pair.
Ari.
I have 2
Yeah.
pairs.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Ari in Dwarvish is going to say, "You made a mistake coming here." And she's going to swing with her hammer. 23.
23 hits.
Cool. And that'll be 12 points of damage.
All right. As you swing down on this one, you do 12 points of damage. You start to see a crack form across its face.
Okay, and then the other ones, she swings again, but it's a 16, so.
That one misses.
Yeah, the 3 and the 6.
Ooh.
Yep.
The one that Garth had hit, he sees that his 2 are in a bit of trouble, and he shouts a few weird words out. the best that Garth and Ari could understand this to be seems to be like names or some really hodgepodge phrases, like code words, essentially. Like one might say on a battlefield or at the front line of like a sports game, something that the other team or the other opposing members wouldn't understand. And it essentially comes out like banana hockey puck, stormfly, and you're just like, what?
Garth goes, beware the banana hockey puck!
And as he shouts that, Garth, you watch his figure kind of turn into almost like mush and like a liquid and sink down into the stone anvil he was on and sink down into the floor and start retreating away. So the best you see is you understand him as basically swimming through all of this stone.
But I also know where he is.
Yes, you do. And so he starts swimming away and he gets a good 20 or 30 feet out. He's almost to the wall and a good foot or two under the stone with a very good like backstroke going through the stone. Astro takes another bite at the one in the ground, gets a mouthful of its hair and tugs and pulls, does a decent amount of damage and ends up pulling the creature out of the ground, and it's laying there only about 2 feet tall, kicking and flailing, and it is prone in front of Rumiel and Valari. Let me get his damage on here. Thadric, it is your turn.
Can I throw a dagger at any of them?
Yeah, you can turn, and over your shoulder you see the one that's got his club stuck into the ground right in front of Ari. And then you do see the one that has just been pulled out of the ground in front of Valari and Rumiel.
I want to throw it at the one that's in front of Valari.
All right. So it is prone, so you do get advantage. And also because of your roguishness, it is within range to use your sneak attack.
That's why I want to throw it at that one.
There you go.
There it is.
Oh, stupid advantage. Both of them are the same number, and I don't think they're going to hit. 17? Does a 17 hit?
You are just in luck.
Oh, good.
Because the tie goes to the attacker.
Tie goes to the attacker.
And there it is.
Woo! So it's going to be 11 weapon damage, like regular damage, and then 6 fire damage.
And then 6 fire damage. So what you see is the dagger hits, but as it hits, the dagger glows bright red and sinks into this creature a little bit. You see almost like a bit of lava fill some of the cracks as the stone seems to melt a little bit. The dagger is still there, but it does catch fire a little bit and cause this damage. We go back to the top of the turn order here.
This is why I have so many daggers.
There you go. Top of the turn order is Rumiel.
So I still have the one in front of me, yeah?
You have the one in front of you that just got hit by the dagger and now has a little bit of a glow to some of its cracks. It got pulled out of the ground from Astro, and a dagger hit it from Thadric.
So he kind of saunters over, sees the dog pull it out, and a dagger thunk into it, and he sees an opening, so he's going to try and take advantage of that opening.
All right. With a 2.
A 26.
That hits.
Okay. And that will be... 6... 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. As you come down with what, your rapier still, or are you going with like a shield bash? Okay.
He's still using rapier, so he will do 9 points of piercing damage and 3 points of poison damage.
So as you stab down in, the rapier kind of sinks into one of the glowing spots that looks lava-like. And as it sinks in, those glowing spots begin to like boil with black tar almost, and it comes out and over most of the creature, and you hear hissing and screaming, and then it just kind of stops, and it turns into a bunch of rubble in front of you, and the hair that was covering the creature just dissipates down into the slush and kind of floats on top of the slush like the rest of the rope that got destroyed earlier. So this creature is dead. We have one more that is between Ari's feet, and then one that Garth is tracking that is trying to make a beeline swimming through the stone.
Can I see
you're aware.
either one of those?
You can see the one that is at Ari's feet. You cannot see the one that Garth is tracking because it is literally swimming through the stone currently.
Okay, then seeing that and like that he locks on as his next target, he's gonna try and move towards that one.
You're gonna shuffle through the slush towards it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Defense
Again, thank you
check.
for the tip, Cadence, because that was incredible. We're slushing it up here.
Whoop.
So because you're moving a little bit of distance, I do need a dexterity check to see if you slip and slide.
Okay.
Or dexterity save, actually, would be what you need.
Okay, that is 19, soft 20.
Soft 20. You get there fairly gracefully as your feet kind of slide out from under you a little bit. But you do end up sliding up and right in front of the creature who's facing away from you and looking up at Ari as he's trying to smash her feet. It is Valari's turn. You're standing up and you see this creature crumble in front of you, and Rumiel kind of shuffles and slides away towards Ari.
And I don't see anything else.
You if you look around, you'll see the creature kind of at her feet. You'll see a club stuck into the ground.
Is it still alive or is it crumbling?
The one that you had attacked, it's dead. It's crumbled.
No,
to
but the
bits.
other one.
The other one's still alive. Yes.
I don't know. I'm torn. Because I want to figure out who it is and why they're there, but I really don't feel like asking them.
Valari special?
What?
Chromatic orb.
Chromatic
Like, I know what this means. I've been here before.
Is the cable at my feet like usable?
It's essentially a metallic rope right now. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to try to use that to like grapple the.
Okay, so I will have you be able to grab it and slide over there, but you're not going to be able to do too much because you're going to be picking up this rope and walking with it. So
Okay.
Please roll a dexterity save to make sure you don't slip and slide too much as you're getting over there and
A save?
shuffling in. Yeah, save to make sure you don't fall over.
I probably will. Yeah, no, I'm falling over. It's a 10.
It's a 10.
It's
so
an 11.
It's an 11. Ooh. So you pick up the rope and you start moving forward, but because it's in the slush, you get a little ways forward, and then your hoof kind of slips out from under you, and then your other one does, and you end up flatting right down on your butt, right next to the dude. Though you got super close, and so you've got this rope kind of taut in the slush, and
That
you're
works.
sitting there, and he's right in front of you.
Slush angels.
It pulls twice and doesn't get its hammer free or its club free. So it starts to pull itself out of the ground as if it's going to try and climb away. So it's gotten out of the ground and is like fighting through the slush and starting to like try to crawl, but it doesn't get more than a few inches before it falls flat. So it is now prone, and it is Ari's turn.
I think seeing Valari, I want to stop it, so I will attempt to grapple it to stop it from running away.
All right. The strength counter is a 4. So as long as you can like look at it, you're probably good.
I can look at it. That's a 10.
All right. You're able to get your arms around it. If you want to pick it up, it probably weighs about 80 pounds. If you just want to get down on the ground and hold it down, you may. But you're able to get your arms around it at least so it doesn't do whatever its move into the rock thing is. It is grappled at this point and seems to be either trying to retreat or do something of the sort. You may ask it anything if you wish. Otherwise, we'll go back to getting it in the turn order before we resolve anything else.
Yeah, I think I would ask it, why did you come here?
In its response, based on the turn and its broken language, you hear something along the lines of "fell in the hole."
Oh.
So as that has happened, Garth, you watch this other creature that you're tracking continue to swim away, and it gets a good solid 40, 50 feet further away from you guys, and it just keeps going.
Sorry, did we skip my turn?
Oh, weird. You are actually knocked out of turn order for some reason. It says you were incapacitated. Whoops, I pushed the wrong incapacitate. Yes, we'll go back up. We'll go back up to you. We'll go back up to you as you're watching this go away. Do you have anything you want to do? As we now have a grappled creature on the floor.
I mean, I was focused on the one that was trying to get away because I've got a mind spike on him.
Okay. So it's within 60 or so feet range, and because you have mind spike, if you wish to continue to hit it.
I mean, unfortunately, mind spike does not continue to do damage.
Okay.
But what I can do I see any other tools for blacksmithing around?
Yeah, there's a couple small hammers, like a ball peen hammer on the floor that looked like they got knocked off of an anvil or a tabletop nearby.
Cool, because the way I'm looking at this guy, he's essentially swimming through the stone, right?
Yep. Correct.
So he's underneath the ground. So I have to somehow attack underground.
Yes.
And I think the only way to do that is to see if I can essentially punch through the stone. I'm going to catapult that hammer at it.
All right, at the one that's swimming through the ground.
Yeah, so it has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I don't know how that's affected with it being swimming condition.
All right. So, it fails the dexterity save, so you're able to throw it at the creature. But because it's a foot or so underground, you will notice that as you throw it, you think it's going to be dead on, but because of your sight, you see a spark and a clang as the hammer hits the ground and bounces up and kind of flies to the other side of the room, knowing that what you were seeing in this blurriness and tracking, this thing is literally underground. That in the back of your mind, you just kind of have a WTF moment, like, I don't know what I'm seeing here. It should have hit.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think that's the only thing I could have tried.
Yeah. That's super valid.
Cool. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great thing there because you were testing if the stone was actually liquid, and in this case, it wasn't. You learned more about this creature. So we are down now officially to the we have the blink dog, we have Astro kind of slipping and sliding around and looking around, just unsure of what's going on, and sees the one grappled, so he just stands there and wags his tail. Thadric, it is your turn.
So I don't know where the one is. Ari's got the one
that was visible. There's one that's dead that you're aware of, and then one that just kind of disappeared off of an anvil earlier.
The one that grappled, does it look like it's trying to do a thing?
Just kind of looked like it was trying to get away, and now it's just struggling to break free.
But it looks like Ari's got it
Yeah.
handled.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to ready for if one of them pops up, I'd throw a dagger at its face.
All right. You've readied a dagger. We have Rumiel, Garth, Valari, and then we're back to the grappled one, and that's where we can resolve. Do any of you wish to make any action on the grappled character?
Go.
Oh, I was like, I have the rope, so I was gonna help like tie it
You're gonna
up
have
so
time,
that
alright.
she doesn't have to just like sit there on it.
Rumiel, anything from you?
He is going to kind of hold the rapier to the creature's throat because he doesn't at this point, he doesn't know where it came from, how any of this is going on. So he's going to assume that it's associated kind of where he came from.
Okay.
And so he's going to say in common, with the rapier to its throat, to say, "Where is Keth?"
In common. Perfect. As Valari's reaching in and helping tie this thing up, and the rapier comes to the neck of this thing, and it hears where it's Keth. The broken dwarven that comes out of its mouth, it's something along the lines of, I'm not sure what you're asking about Keth or the location of Keth. He's dead, is what comes out in dwarven.
But Rumiel doesn't speak Dwarven, so as he'll hear that and
You'll-
kind of
you'll-
look around, and
You'll hear a bit of that. You'll probably hear
Sure.
Keth come back because it
Sure.
is a spoken name. Yes.
sure, but kind of look around, and then does anybody understand what he just said?
Oh yeah, for sure. He said he doesn't know what you're talking about. Keth's dead.
Keth is dead.
I mean, we killed Keth.
We did kill Keth.
I shot him in the
Yeah.
crotch with a dagger.
You were there, sir.
And
Unless
the
you're not.
rapier's gonna kind of relax, and the tip's just gonna kind of fall to the floor. Like he's
There's
still
medicine
holding
for
it, but
that.
he's just like kind of shocked.
I heard you, Jared.
As long as someone did.
Yeah. So with Rumiel shocked, this creature believing Keth to be dead, the rest of the party believing Keth to be dead, Rumiel somehow not. We're going to resolve this in about 10 minutes. So we're going on break. One more time here before break. Exclamation ticket or exclamation enter typed into chat will allow you to get into the running for a beautiful set of burnished bronze blacksmith craft dice, or a potential win
Of Encounter Plus.
for Encounter Plus year subscription. Do type those in. We're going on break. Feel free to invite some friends along because, I mean, if they win Encounter Plus or dice and they don't really want them, they can give them to you. Go ahead and invite. Anything else? I think the undersex were pointing something out. Was there anything we need to address before we get back to our break?
She was just inviting me along.
Aw, welcome. Cool. So we'll see you all in 10 minutes. Listen for our theme song, and we'll be back to resolve this mystery.
Let's be honest. D&D
So I said titties, not titties.
At least somebody was listening.
Well, another time. It's been a good run, everybody. Been a good run. We're back, I think. If we haven't been kicked off of the platform. The other sponsor. Yep. Cheez-Its is gone. We lost our Cheez-Its sponsor.
Got that one.
They dropped just after Yoo-Hoo. It was
Yeah.
just
You know what?
terrible
Let's go
tragedy.
for Cheez-It instead of Snyder's.
No.
Yeah.
No. Snyder's or Hanover are too good.
Cheez-Its are better than pretzels.
You know what?
Okay.
You're not going to get Cheez-Its or Snyder's. You're going to get Cheese Nips.
Oh.
No.
Ew.
Keep it up.
Us?
You're gonna get Pirate's Booty.
That's like eating Triscuits instead of Wheat Thins.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back. My name's Jared Sarton. I'm the Dungeon Master here for Here Be Dragons. We are currently debating the best snack, apparently. We were a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition show, but we
Oh, it
are all
happened.
about the snacks.
That's what Dungeons and Dragons really is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looking like a snack.
Pizza is gold in this economy. So we just had a battle. We have Rumiel back, kind of, maybe, I don't know. But before we dive back into the story, just a reminder, we do have the little giveaway going on. So if you showed up on our break, do type in !ticket or !enter. We'll be doing a drawing at the end of the show, and you get a chance to win some dice and potentially a chance to also win a giveaway to Encounter Plus. So get the premium Encounter Plus or get some really cool heavy metal dice. Heavy metal dice.
Heavy metal dice.
There it is.
He didn't say death metal.
That was heavy metal. It depends on what kind of...
That was more death metal, but we'll debate that along with our snacks later. Back into the story. After this little battle, we've got a stone creature that looks half goat, half man, covered in hair, tied up with a metallic rope or a cable, not a chain. And the room is covered in slush. The cloud had dissipated as the battle had ended. Thank you to a wonderful tip from Cadence that gave him a nice slushy environment for this battle. Party, you've got this creature, and you've got Rumiel back-ish. What do you do?
I'm going to ask the creature in Dwarvish, did you work for Keth?
As you ask that question, the creature makes a spitting motion in anger. Says something along the lines of worst creature ever, death to him.
Okay, that's how we feel too, I say back in Dwarvish. Then why did you guys attack us?
He looks at you and looks around the room and says again, fell through hole. You didn't do?
I believe it was a portal. Remember how we had all those portals open, guessing Rumiel here, and the newcomers all fell through at the same time?
So I'll tell the in Dwarvish. You fell through a portal. We didn't make it.
He looks at all of you. You know make whole? Oh, okay. And kind of still looks across the group, not sure that he could trust you.
Should I let him go, guys? He said death to Keth, basically. They just attacked us because they thought we made the portal.
I'm losing the other one.
What do you mean?
I've got him tracked. He's swimming through the stone.
Where?
Continuing further and further from where you're at.
He's beyond this building for sure.
Oh, all right.
Do
never
you
mind.
think he'd be mad that we killed his friends?
Technically, we only killed one, but possibly. I'll ask him. I'm sorry, or I'll tell him I'm sorry. We thought you guys were with the orc who works for Keth. You want to go find your friend?
And he eyes the group once more. Not trap?
Not trap.
Not trap at all?
No trap.
Well, is everyone good with that? Because let's not say not trap and then somebody do something.
I mean, all of us.
Polari? Rumil? Dadric?
Ramil's kind of out of it at this point.
I know. I'm sitting here like this is
But
not my thing.
like he's listening, but still trying to process. So yeah, he's cool.
Okay, Ari's
They
just
didn't
gonna
come here intentionally. They're like,
Ari's gonna untie him then and say, "Find your friend. Don't attack random people. Use your words."
He looks at you and stands up, and you see as he stands up, his hair bristles out a bit, and the rope that had tied around him, he puts his hand out and kind of wiggles his fingers a little bit, and it coils up quickly and snaps right up to his side. And he looks around the room. Where hole I fall through?
It went away. But your friend, where's his friend?
That way.
Down, swim, friend.
He looks at the rubble that was one of his other friends, lets out a little bit of a huff, and then looks up at the group, and then just sinks into the floor like it was water. And you could almost swear that the floor rippled a little bit before it turned right back to stone, and he disappeared.
That was weird.
Yes, Rumiel. Where are you, boy? And I'm like, oh, there you are. And I pat him, and because I don't think Garth had a chance to notice the differences yet.
No, you do notice he's a bit more muscular build and has some metal plating under his leather.
And he's also like, as we're taking a moment to look at Rumil, he also has like a few more scars than
And
you
I'm like-
remember old Rumil having.
I'm like, why didn't you tell us who you actually are?
Well, it seems that well, you know me, and I seem to. You sort of know me, and I seem to sort of know you. It seems that there has been these portals opening up here for some reason.
I just like slip the disc behind my back and
Where I
Rumil-
came from, it's very interesting to meet you all here. This is going to sound very rather odd to the three of you. The metal man, I'm not. Apologies, I don't recognize you. But the three of you, I actually know quite well from where I'm from. You're dead.
We're right here.
Exactly.
How did that? Doesn't seem like me. I usually skirt death very well.
Yeah, he hardly even gets hit.
I agree. We faced a wizard by the name of Keth. You may have heard me mention it to the little stone man.
We fought him.
We killed him.
Oh, so he's dead here.
Here, he's gone. Yeah,
Pretty sure.
but we're not.
I got him with a
Where,
shot.
where I'm from, he's very, very, very not. The four of us met at a town. There was a box, a chest that was supposed to guard, and it led us to this this portal
Right?
where Keth was.
Right.
That tracks.
There was another. There were two people there. There was Keth and a six-armed figure, and there was a bright light, and the three of you were gone in the explosion. I survived, but lost Keth.
Oh wow, we died much earlier in his version.
I buried what was left of the three of you.
Was I still a wizard? Because I don't think you're a druid.
Druid? Oh, gods, no, man. No, I've served with the army all my life.
You would not go near metal, sir.
You had a metal bird and it broke your brain.
So I don't know who you are. You're not Rumiel. I don't know.
My name is Rumiel. I serve with the Elven Guard. I've been serving in the army all my life. During my first battle, actually, I was very young, probably too young from what a lot of the other elves would have said, but I was of age, and I was admittedly very scared in the battle, but some of my connection to nature helped give me some strength. I've always had this strong connection to them, and they let me some strength in the battle, and it helps me to become a very powerful warrior. And so that is actually how the four of us met. I was off to find somebody was destroying the forest of the treants in the place where I was, and so the military allowed me leave to go seek out whoever this was. As a warrior, as a defender, this was part of my responsibilities, and that's why we sought out this person. We found Keth. You all died, and I've been chasing this man ever since, and I have come so close so many times, but I've hired people and I've made friends along the way. Now the friends have become rather few and far between now, because I have found that it hurts more to make friends because I just lose them in this battle. So I've taken to hiring people, but no one is quite good enough to get close. I was almost there. All I had to do was take out this last orc before I could actually get face to face with the man who destroyed my friends. I dispatched the orc and I saw all of you alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that my way home has been closed. So, in a way, I know you and you know me, but it appears that we do not know each other really.
What happens if our Rumiel meets this Rumiel? Would the world explode?
Well, that would be a very interesting thing indeed.
I mean,
Still, no metal. How does he even defend himself? Really?
Well, he would see your metal and then just pretty much burn you.
Well, I guess that would do it, wouldn't it?
Burn me.
No.
Metal Man, what is your name, good sir?
I'm Thadric Demius. Nope, backwards. No, I was right. Yeah. Thadric Demius Thaddeus.
No,
Line.
Demius. When was the last time I actually said the whole name?
It's been a long couple of days.
When was the last time I said the whole name? Come on.
This is sad.
Wait for your lower thirds to rotate around. You may refresh yourself.
There you go.
Well,
Jared.
Sir Thadric, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. And at this point, I'm still looking for Keth. And if there's a way that I can get back to him,
now just as a DM interjection here,
sure.
Rumiel, what
Yes.
land were you just in? Was it Faerun or were you on Nier?
I was in Faerun, actually. I would have been.
Yeah, you were in Faerun.
Yes, I've never been to Nier.
These guys are wonderful at going where they don't intend.
Wait, so they
So
were
just
multiple?
hang out, and I'm sure you'll get home.
Well, we started in Faerun. There are 2 RE Faerun people.
Again, different dimensions.
So
Just like the old Garth.
Was I a wizard then?
You were actually. You had some. You spoke of the gods as if they were your parents. It was rather odd. You sometimes would have conversations with your dad, and voices would come from the sky. It was all very weird.
Yes, that was that version of God.
did I ever talk about my parents?
Well, no, you really didn't talk a whole lot.
Oh, weird.
Are you coming to the wedding?
I kick him in the shin.
Me or
Really
him?
do.
Yeah, kick him. Kick
Oh,
the new
him,
guy.
okay.
Thadric, all right. Thadric gets
Weddings?
kicked in the
I
shin. You
love
hear
weddings.
clank.
I could perform a wedding.
Stay in your lane, my dude.
We have a task
Okay.
to complete. We're trying to defeat this big bad evil ball.
But the portals, they seem to be coming from here. How in the world? You say you didn't create them.
We didn't, but the ball thing that we flattened and are trying to smash did. So maybe we should finish that, and then maybe a portal can open and you can hop back, kill Keth.
The ball that you... Wait a minute. You have one of the stones.
The what?
The what?
Now,
No.
Garth, you may try to hide that face. I've seen it way too many times. You have one of the stones, don't you?
One of what stones?
Which, like a rock?
There
Do I have
are...
one?
As I've been tracking Keth all these years, he uses these stones. Some of Keth's allies have promised him that with enough power, he could use these stones, maybe just one, maybe multiple, to create portals to send armies into more planes and places that he could invade. And is my theory.
Stones. Yes, we've got one of those.
Then that makes complete sense because Keth's ally, I believe it was probably the sixth appendaged person, beast or man or whatever. He believed that if you could draw them out, then perhaps Keth could steal them and steal their magic like he was doing with the treant forest. And there was one he was desperately seeking after, that the entire stone. He had pieces of it, and the small piece that he had allowed him to use that. He uses some sort of enchanted gloves. I don't quite know how it worked. Again, I never got quite close enough, but he was able to create personal portals for himself. But the stone that he was chasing allowed him to control rifts between time and space and planes. And the unfortunate thing is that, well, for anyone who held it, is that it attracted all forms of evil. And as it got stronger, more powerful forms of evil would be attracted to it. And if you're Keth, you don't really care. But anyone who was holding it, that would be horrible.
That happened to us. Which reminds me, we should probably finish smashing this thing. Right?
You have this stone.
Yes, and we were going to break it.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Excellent. Now, it is my thought that if you could break this stone, if you could destroy the stone, that would prevent people from using it. Now, Keth has a piece of it, and that allows him to travel between planes, which still makes it dangerous. So if you could separate the pieces, that would help.
At this point, I need Valari to roll on her wild magic, as she's like trying to speak, but Valari's mild-mannered nature just starts building up, like she had something to say.
And Rumiel's just like on a roll. He's like,
Oh yeah, Rumiel's Rumieling it.
Meanwhile, I'm holding this evil thing.
Valari, your pocket watch buzzes as you're trying to talk. Do you wish to try and keep talking, or do you want to look at your pocket watch?
I want to look at it really quick.
Okay. As you look at your pocket watch, a skull and crossbones appears, and then it flattens out, and then a little smiley face appears.
I'm gonna buzz that,
All right.
but I'm like, excuse me.
We just missed out on the happy pirate wild magic.
I just saved it for later. Don't worry.
So Volari does interrupt Rumil because the DM gave some space there.
Yes, I'm sorry, Valari. Please don't. No fireballs, no lightning. That would be amazing. Please.
Anyways, the 6-armed dude.
Yes.
When and where did you last see him?
I only saw him briefly. He had white hair. It seemed to all stand out on, and he was right next to Keth in the explosion that killed you all.
And he had all 6 arms?
Yes, he did.
Was he?
Not fingers, arms.
Dude,
I wasn't exactly close enough.
Wait, I just need to make sure because you said 6 appendages earlier. So is it 6 arms or 6 appendages? Because 6 arms implies 2 legs, which means he's an arachnid.
Consider him an arachnid, Garth. I believe that would be easy for you.
There it
That's
is.
like a spider.
He's Spider-Man, if you please.
Does
No. But he's working with Keth in another
Well, yes.
time
Do you
line
know him?
thing. Yeah, we've met him a couple times, you guys.
Who?
Well, Ari wasn't there.
Was that? Wait, what?
On the roof of the tower.
Oh, that
Was
dude
that-
had 6 arms? Forgot that part.
So you've met this man. We have a common enemy.
Oh!
Yeah, he ain't good.
He's certainly not where I come from.
I thought you guys.
We blew off one of his arms here,
Well, that would be helpful.
in theory. But he's still alive, so.
Yes.
And still trying to, like, destroy the world or something. Like they always are.
Is it possible that that 6-armed being is the same from your dimension as ours?
Given that Keth was crossing time and dimensions and planes, and it seemed to be that he was doing it with this ally at his side, I believe it could at least be possible that this ally was giving advice to either one Keth, multiple Keths, that there would be some sort of relation there, that this particular personage would be able to cross between planes.
Okay, so can we smash this thing already then?
I believe if you smash it, that would be very helpful. Now we can spread the pieces to all corners of the earth, and that would be very helpful. However, if we can find a way for me to get back to my plane, which I believe we probably can with this stone, if we can spread them across planes, that might be even better.
New dude.
Yes.
Stop talking. We have a plan
Well, by
to
all
work
means,
with what
please.
our problem is. So let's deal with that, and then if there's time after, when we finish rebuilding these people's civilization, we can talk about giving you a piece of our stone.
Rebuilding civilization, my man. Do you understand that planes of existence are at risk here?
Guys, before we really just go and destroy the stone, do we think it could be useful in finding this guy and killing him and getting portals back to where we are all supposed to be?
Well, now hold up. Let's all remember that when we showed up here, it seems that his forces have overrun the town. Hence, and I point towards the dead body of the former blacksmith.
We've been trying to smash these things for so long. I vote we just smash it.
This seems fair to me.
Look, we can fix the Warforged world, and use the stone the way the council wanted, and I'm sure there would be. What?
Just, please. I have no understanding of what's going on. You please, by all means, go to.
But
All right, Dad, let's go.
All right, we break it. We hit it one more time.
Cedric, as you lay the stone shield essentially out, and you come down for the final blow, when you hit and the the stone breaks. It breaks into 7 pieces, almost identically shaped, jagged edges, but it stays as large as it would be if you place them together as like shield pieces. The edges of these pieces are sharp, and it splits apart, and they pop apart a few inches. But as you hit and the pop happens, the room is filled again with tons of portals, tons of tiny little portals that appear. And as like you're seeing them, it happens for a few seconds. That if you even reach out and touch or swat at them, the portals almost disappear in front of you. There's no way to interact with them too much. You hear voices and sounds and screams and cheers. You hear, "It's a portal!" And you see a pillow fly between a couple portals again. You do see a blink dog go leaping from one portal into another. A much older blink dog, but it does look very similar to Astro.
Does it have a necklace with a green gem on it?
You don't see that.
Metal leg?
Metal leg?
Let's see. Let's roll perception. See who gets to see if there's a metal leg or not. You do see a couple loaves of bread fly between one portal into another.
Does Rumiel see Rumiel?
Rumiel, you actually see the same exact moment you were just describing in one of the portals next to you. But this time you see a much weaker Rumiel standing there, charging in, and you see someone tackle Keth through the portal, a very short-statured creature, almost reminds you of one of your battle mates that you had at one point that died in the blast, a little goblin. You see the goblin tackle Rumiel through, Keth through the portal. And to the rest of the party, that would be exactly what they were trying to describe to you, but they don't see it. You see what they had seen. Anyone want to let me know if you were over a 17 on your perception?
No.
No. So none of you catch if there was a metal leg or not on this blink dog. A few of you get to see glimpses of what could have been your past, present, or future lives. Valari sees herself. She's a shade of green, actually, and she has a crown on, and her garb is a bit more ornate, but she has the same crossbow hanging at her side. Garth sees himself sitting amongst the clouds, sharing stories, and people are sitting at his feet, like listening in. Garth, you're wearing a long flowing robe. Ari, you see into one of the portals that you're actually being coronated, and you're not quite sure some of the faces, but for some reason you feel like you're becoming a princess or queen, potentially, of some place. Thadric, you see a few images of weapons getting thrown off of large lines of people hammering at anvils and tossing in sync to one another. There's hundreds of people building essentially an army's worth of weaponry, and you see a much older version of yourself standing there looking at all of the forge work. You do see this hammer, the rescued hammer, hanging at your side in this image. And then Rumiel sees one more thing here. He sees a bride walking down an aisle towards a groom, but the groom is blurry. He can't quite tell who the groom is. He can't quite tell who the bride is either. But you do see a Valari sitting there and looking at the bride as she walks down the aisle, and you see a blink dog that you recognize here watching as well. So you know it's not her that's getting married, but you seem to think this is pertinent. And then as you get all of these floods of images, it all disappears, and you're back to the slush-filled room with the jagged stone pieces sitting in front of you.
And the pieces didn't you said they maintain the same size.
They
and
maintain the same
out.
size. Yeah, they're a little bit translucent. They're glowing a light pinkish purple. Around the edge, if you were to think of it as like a pizza crust, when you spread out a pizza crust, the edge gets a little bit more of like the crustiness to it. So there's the thickness at the bottom of each of these pieces, but they're a very thin, sharp blade almost. And there's 7 pieces of these like shattered blades.
Should we see if the council's still around?
I mean, yes, we should gather these up and protect them and check in on the council. I mean, this is why we were doing it. Especially if there is danger around, especially if somehow this 6-armed creature is here.
We should all take pieces.
That might be safe.
Good plan.
Even the dog.
He doesn't have pockets.
Astro looks up and.
But I could give him some sick metal saddlebags if you want.
Okay.
I need 10 minutes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait, let's pause on this really quick. Wouldn't metal saddlebags just be the toughest thing to wear?
More like aluminum, aircraft grade aluminum, just an armor, more of an armored back than a.
Think of chainmail,
Yeah.
but looped around, so it's like a pack.
Lightweight and sturdy.
If
There you
that's
go.
gonna be chainmail and gonna get caught in his fur and tug at it, you do you, man, but
No, he's gonna make it solid, and it's gonna be light, and then
The
but
inside's gonna be
sturdy.
lined with fur and the skin of Astro's enemies or something.
I have to see this. There's an orc there. You can use him. I'll volunteer him.
No, I don't need.
Yeah.
I don't need anything to do it. Just most of it has to be metal.
The skin of that orc. All right. So you guys have a few
Lightning
minutes. You guys have a few minutes as Thadric's working on this. Anything you wish to do between Valari, Garth, Ari, and Rumil number 2, according to chat?
Imposter Rumiel.
There
mean,
you go.
Garth
like
is still
pasta.
getting his sight back, so I think he's
Yeah,
I
you
guess I don't have to.
you are starting to, after the battle and the adrenaline rush, you're starting to see blurry. If you're squinting, you can kind of make out textures and shapes and colors a bit more than just a blur, but not enough where you could read from across the room.
I'm just standing there looking at Rumiel like with a scowl. My arms are crossed. I don't trust him.
As Garth is kind of looking around, Rumiel is Garth, you all right?
Oh, yes, I lost my sight a little bit ago. It's been slowly coming back.
Right.
So,
Here, let me see if I can do something about that. And so Rumiel is gonna kind of as long as Garth is okay, he's gonna kind of put both hands on the side of Garth's head and look into study his eyes, see that if he's been blinded, see some remnants of that. And then he's just gonna kind of close his eyes, sink back into himself, and cast Lesser Restoration, which means one creature is cured of a condition, be that blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, anything like that. So as he's gripping Rumiel's or Garth's head, he's going to see the remnants of blindness and just sweep the rest of it away.
Yeah, Garth, as your sight comes back and kind of instantaneously gets sharp, you recognize your old friend, but you also don't recognize the deep faded scars on his face, the really matted hair, as if He hadn't taken care of it in some time. He had focused on battle. This is kind of a shadow of your friend that you see in front of you.
I think seeing all this, like, Garth just looks at Rumiel and says, "Oh, my friend, what have you been through? Thank you."
Of course, my old friend. And then as he stands, it seems that this is the point at which Keth is most likely to strike. This is the place where the stones are. As long as this stone is here, especially as long as you defend it, this is where I shall be.
All right. Well, once Thadric's done providing the transportation devices, we should be on our way to the councils, to divvying up the pieces and then saving worlds and defeating evil. You know, the usual.
Oh, but of course, the usual.
As you're speaking, you hear some rustling by the door, the entryway, and you hear a small voice. Thorgosh, are you there? Thorgosh.
I draw my crossbow. And I'm like ready.
Was that the name of the blacksmith's son?
The orc, yeah.
Okay.
The orc soldier.
I don't know that you had been given the name of her son.
I thought she yelled it.
She might have. I do have notes that Thorgosh is this character. Let's just say that yes, you recognize that kind of as what you might have thought you had heard her yell. Thorgosh.
He's not here.
Hello? Who? Are you friendly?
Normally, unless I wake up and have my Java, you can come in.
Do you know whose building you're in?
Blacksmith. Oh,
Hammer.
I go to the door, and just.
My
You're
building
gonna go with
now.
her. You trust no one at this point.
As you go open the door and kind of peek out, you do notice there's a very skinny dwarven youngster, full beard, but he looks like he probably can't be more than like the age of 13 for a human. So a very young-looking face with a full dwarven beard, a thinner build. He looks up at you and he goes, "Is Thorgosh in there?
No.
There's some really weird stuff going on.
What do you
Have you
mean?
seen him?
He went to guard the council. His mom had sent him. What do you mean weird things?
There was a portal over by the bookstore. The bookstore was burning.
No! Wait! Why did we
the
stop
bookstore had
there?
already been destroyed. You missed that. Sorry, buddy. And I pat him on the head. Keep going.
Well, there was a portal there, and then there's a weird monster rampaging town. We took him down. He looked like a large chicken almost. And then you said he was going to the council?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the council building?
What happened?
Spit
Speak.
it out, young man.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the council building sits at the edge of the cliff overlooking the water.
Okay.
Didn't you feel that tremor about 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
Wait,
We
the
were.
one that did the cave in?
There was a cave in? Where? There was an earthquake or a tremor, and the council building, the edge of the cliff, just into the ocean.
Well, shoot.
Well, now, hold up. We don't know when she sent him. She could have sent him and after everything happened. 3 hours, I mean. We've only been here a few minutes.
But we were just going to go to the council, and now the council may all be mermaids.
Oh, right. That's the big problem. I mean, we've got water breathing.
What about designation R883? Or designation 2? Have we seen that guy?
or Tripio?
Tripio, yeah.
Are you talking about some of the not men, the
Well,
robot-y thingers?
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah. There was one of the ones with the big old steam cannons that was out here shooting at some of these beasts, but they all went to battle, and I think they chased whatever was happening towards the council building. There may be one or two left, but if anything, they're trying to find survivors. Last I checked.
Kid, you should go home.
Well, I was staying here with Thorgosh and his mother. They let me stay here as I got on the wrong ship, and I need to get back to the Isle to the north.
His mom died. I'm sorry to say.
Man,
Okay.
this is just we're not doing great today.
Okay.
You can stay here, but right now
No. I'll go look for Thorgosh. I should be the one. He's my best friend. I'll go find him.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
What was your name?
Well, they called me L. My name is tough to pronounce in common, but
I speak Dwarvish.
well,
Yeah, who doesn't?
he mumbled something that it's actually quite challenging for even you to speak in Dwarvish. It's a very old dialect. Seems like it was a old name that might have been handed down generation to generation. That in the back of your head you go, yeah, L works, because it's so verbose. And then he looks at you and goes, see, that's why most people call me L. But yeah, I'll go find Thorgosh if he's still alive and let him know. Could you make sure she's at least rested?
Of course.
Thank you. And he puts his head down and lets out a huff, and then he like cracks his neck and straightens up, and grabs the small dagger at his side, and then kind of tucks and runs, and you see him run off towards the ocean front, and you hear him screaming Thorgosh every handful of seconds until it goes quiet in the distance.
Technically, her body's on ice because of
Technically, her body's on ice. There it is. Yes. Oh.
Oh.
I'm out.
So here's what happens next. Done.
It's the Garth show.
I go around to everyone and hand everyone this. It's kind of like a chainmail bag, essentially, but it's literally shaped for one of these shards of things.
I'll get one.
Yeah. I slip them in, and then start passing them out. We kind of hook it onto the side of Astro.
So who doubles up? As I count, there are 6 bodies and 7 pieces.
I mean,
I
I
sent,
got a day satchel.
you do have your halfling purse.
It's true.
It's a day satchel.
Hey, I mean, I just have to say the halfling purse may carry all of your necessities for that big day. If you
That
need a little
big
bit
day.
of lipstick,
Plus,
a little bit of combing
You
your
gotta think of
hair, whatever.
franchising and merchandising. We could
Have
sell
the
a half.
foundation.
Should we put the extra one with Astro so he can have like one on each side because he can get
Oh, because
away
he can
the quickest?
jump away the fastest. Yeah, it's not the worst idea.
True.
And then Sarton, I discorded you.
All right. Yeah. So as you're strapping Astro up, he kind of shudders as these things get strapped to his sides. Each of these bags is fairly lightweight and however that Thadric built them, they're fairly loose and easy to hang on to your person, so you don't fully feel the weight or the stress of carrying these pieces. And so these things don't weigh the dog down. Forgive Lindsay, she's not spasming. The dog's just playing tug. Don't worry about her. As people on camera will see her like shaking off the camera, the dog is just trying to tug her across the room. But you strap them to the sides of Astro, and while he doesn't seem to like it, it doesn't seem to weigh him down. And none of you throwing the bag over your shoulder feel any additional weight. They clip to your side or toss over your back. But you do feel a little bit of a shudder as you each kind of worry about this power, knowing how much it had caused in terms of like portals in the last little bit.
I've been carrying this thing for days. I will say, I mean, it may still be a wise idea to go see if there's any remnants of the council. I mean, you have water breathing. Well, I don't know about. I didn't give you water breathing, but I know water breathing now, and so I just kind of made it a thing where everyone gets to start the day, just in case. It's maybe
Seems logical.
the way I do it. So
I would like to once again remind everybody that at this point, I'm just a dude that's good with daggers.
You're a dude that's good with daggers that has like super hard to hit.
Yeah, but like, if you fall down and get an owie,
Okay.
Like we should take at least a little bit of a break, is what I'm hearing. I'm exhausted.
no, like I need a solid 8 hours, or I'm useless.
I've got Linus.
Well, I just came from somewhere, so I'm pretty good. If you all need to rest, I can probably stand up.
Fadric looks Rumiel right in the eyes, locks eyes, and he goes, "We all just came from somewhere."
Rumiel, I will remind you, you
nods.
did come from battle, so you probably have a little bit expended and a little bit of health off from a fresh character sheet, but you are most likely in a bit better shape than the rest of the party,
Yeah.
given their last
So I go,
day.
great, you can keep watch. Because we've just spent like a day and a half in a dungeon or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there was this water. If you drank it, you got young, and then you get old, and then Garth stuck his pinky in a thing again. He keeps doing that. I don't understand why.
Oh,
hey, it worked better
yeah.
when you stuck your pinky in it.
And then Thadric died, and then he wasn't dead.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
that was a
like, we could
ghost.
go.
And then he was naked on the bridge. Yeah, you know, all
And then they
that.
played with some stones, and they lost their vision, and there was a giant lizard, and the roof caved in. You know, just the usual.
I'm naked a lot.
Somehow that doesn't quite surprise me.
Oh, been naked a lot.
And the man-eating plant.
No, you've got to say it with presence.
We're all present.
Oh man! And so I am assuming you guys take some rest then.
I
correct?
pull out Linus and I set it up.
As you pull out Linus and you throw it out, because the floor is slush covered, Linus gets this like extra little inflation underneath of it, and almost like a small raft sits on top of the slush. Rumiel, this is actually your first time
His
seeing
mind
this.
is blown by this whole thing.
All right, this blanket that pops into a tent.
Yeah, Valari flips out a very tattered old blanket that turns into a pup tent with a little floaty underneath. As the doors kind of flutter open of this pup tent, a small pillow goblin pops out and puts his arm through the door, and as he lifts up a little tray, there's a fruity tropical drink sitting on top of it, a small one. And as
Ooh, what makes the
Valari's
mouth
right
of
there,
it?
she's able to look into it, and it looks like it's got a very similar red glow to a minor health potion.
See y'all later. And
You grab the drink.
well, yeah, I'm grabbing
Alright.
a drink.
So Valari, as you drink the drink, you feel refreshed. Please roll a d4. You get that much health back from the drink.
Great.
The rest of you, as you kind of peer in, you see a couple more pillow goblins, each with their individual drink in hand, ready to give to Garth, Ari, and Thadric. And then there's another pillow goblin with a drink in hand, kind of nervously holding it out and looking out the door briefly at Rumiel. Rumiel, I'll remind you too that you see this, and it almost like there's steps of like pillow steps that go into the floor from your vision. The bits and pieces that you see is like Valari walks in and kind of like stands up and walks down these steps. Are a bit out of the ordinary for this Rumiel here.
Yeah, he's gonna like poke his head in, look around, see the goblin who's like, eh. He's gonna take the drink and like back out of the tent.
Yeah, so as you peek your head in,
you guys do you. I'm just gonna. Yep.
Thad's gonna push past him and go, "I'll take the elevator."
My bad. So as you all go in, there is a pillow elevator that appears under Thadric. Thadric walks in and steps off to the side and says his line, and the pillows underneath him just start sinking down and moving forward. Well, the rest of you are just walking down a handful of pillow steps. Rumiel, as you peek in and you grab your drink, you look around and the whole area seems to be made of pillows and blankets and things, but it looks like a tropical island with a few palm trees providing some shade. It's nice and warm. You feel a warm breeze, and you almost feel like you could smell the ocean. And when you look towards this little island, you see blue pillows and blankets sloshing up against this island, almost like it's a little escape. There's a few blankets laid out ready for rest under these palm trees that are on this small island. Thad gets dropped off right at the island, and the pillows underneath him sink into the blue ocean right there. And you're able to take a bit of rest. Are we taking a short rest, a long rest? What are we doing?
I mean, it's another one of those moments where Goth is fine, so...
Like, I need a long rest or I'm useless. Like, legitimately.
I need Thadric to have a long rest.
Okay.
So that I don't die.
All right, so we're looking at about 8 hours. Thadric's going to take a long rest. It sounds like Garth and Valari might not need it. Ari, do you need a long rest or a short rest?
I'll take a long one.
Okay.
He's taking a long one.
If we're here, I will take one.
Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't, I mean, Garth doesn't feel like he should split up the party. So I mean, like, he'll chill, but it's one of those moments where Garth, and look, I understand that we're all just dudes, but for Garth, it's like, I can still do things, but it's probably not a good idea to go out on my own. So I guess I'll stick with
Yeah. And then to double check, Rumiel, seeing the odd nature of this pillow fort thing, do you stay outside, go inside, and do you have any light plans for the next 8 hours?
I think he doesn't know this area at all. So what they're talking about, this whole council and the blacksmith's son, like I have no idea. Rumiel's only goal is protect the stones so he can go back to Keth.
All right.
So if that means just kind of chilling there, he's an elf. He like time passes. That's just how it goes.
All right.
So 8 hours is whatever. He'll be like in front of the tent, probably checking out the door, probably going to like scope around just to make sure there's nothing else happening that seems way out of the ordinary, as much as he can figure out in this strange land.
Yeah, okay, cool. So with that, here's what's going to happen. The rest of the party get some of their refreshments, is able to rest under the trees. Thadric, your long rest is actually only about 4 hours, right? Because you're half elf, you get the bonus feature there.
I am a half elf.
I don't know that
feature.
That's just an elf feature.
I think it's just full elf.
Correct. Yep. Perfect. So you guys take about 8 hours or so. all of you can hit your full rest button on your character sheets, reset them. Rumil, you can take a short rest if you wish within there. Or you could take a full rest because you get the 4 hours of like being able to. As that's happening, Rumil, you're able to scope out this forge that you're in, and you see that it's a very finely crafted forge. There's a bunch of different anvils of stones and metals, some that you recognize and some that are like incredibly different. Some of the stones you believe would be brittle, you walk up and you tap on, and you actually end up scuffing some of the metalwork on the hilt of your rapier because you're like, oh, this is like a sandstone, and you tap it and it leaves a small scuff. Letting you know that it's a much stronger piece of stone. But you're able to quickly repair that with some of the tooling around. You see a stone that's made of like a jet black material that you're fascinated by. And that seems to be the toughest here. You don't find anything of interest really within the forge. As you peek out of the forge, you notice that you're in like an older part of a small town. Across the way and down the road a little bit, there's some older buildings that look like they're just kind of being put out of being burnt. There's a few people moving about, not too many. You do notice an older man kind of shuffling about in front of one of the buildings, and it seems to be piles of what could have been books that were burned in front of the building. And he only has like a couple in hand. And he shuffles off at one point as you kind of watch the surrounding areas. No one approaches the forge as you're standing there, so you're not really approached by anybody. But I will need you to make a perception check for me as you're on this little bit here.
19.
19. And then can you roll me a D100, please?
D100.
I believe in you.
78.
78. So Rumil, as you're making your patrols around the room and you end up sitting back down, you're shuffling some of your gear around and you grab the bag that has the blade of this stone of power in it. And as you grab it, it feels somewhat empty. And you think for a second, you're like, it was light. And then you open it up and there is no stone shard in your bag. We're about 7 hours into our rest.
He's going to take some time to retrace his steps.
Yeah, so you take about 40 minutes to retrace all of your steps, looking in and around, and it's a very well-kept forge. Things are mostly in their place still, even though there is a bit of a battle here. So there's no like spots where it could have slid under that you could find. And as you've retraced your steps 3 and 4 times around and you get back to the front of this little tent, we're at about 7 hours, 40 minutes or so. You don't find this stone.
Well, at that point, I'm going to enter into the weird, creepy tent. I believe that they need like 7 hours of rest with a 1 hour like kind of cool down.
light stir before, during, or after. Yes.
Sure. So Rumil's like, okay, I think they've got enough rest. This is kind of a big deal. He's gonna go down and try to wake the others and just say, check your bags. Check your bags. The stone seems to have been missing. Check and make sure you have yours. Because he's not going to go rummaging through other people's bags.
Fair respect.
As you wake them up, the blink dog jumps up and kind of growls at you and then stares at you a little bit and then wags his tail a little unwary, unsure if he should trust you.
I check my bag.
And
All right. As you all check your bags,
5 minutes. Okay, but I'm counting on you. 5 minutes.
Ashley
stones.
Seal has requested a picture, so I'm gonna have to disappear for a hot second.
All right. We'll have you
But
disappear
keep
in
going.
just a second.
I told her 5 minutes.
Man, other shows interfering with this show. Come on.
Oh no, this is not a show. This is Ashley Seal, and if you don't do it, repercussions.
Well, here's the moment. Before we say what's happening with the stones, Jared and Nathan, would you like to quick pitch some of the other shows that are involved with our crew here that involve others where Jared may be?
We do lots of things, you guys.
Mm-hmm. We have a juggling act.
Yeah. We're talking about taking our psych musical on the road.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I would come see that.
You should wait until previews at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we stream over on Battle and Discord on Wednesdays on the Real Gobshite. Jared is currently in charge again for a few weeks.
And it did not go well for you.
Nope. First week back as a player, my character's gone, so that's fun. I'll be DMing again in a few weeks, though. I just wish certain people were there when I DM'd so that I could do unto others, but that's not.
Yeah,
Next time.
It's true. We also do a lot of work with the DAT Network. You've seen us. We've aired over there. Here Be Dragons has aired on the DAT Network before, so good for people. But yeah,
Scott DiNuzzo, we might be able to convince you to go over there. Wink. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. And as a quick aside while we're here, do remember to type in !enter or !ticket for some of our giveaways. We're doing that at the end of the show. But as the players dig into their bags, the stone shards that you expected to be in your bags were all there.
I've got mine.
I have mine too.
I hold mine up and say, hey, it's here.
Astro is standing there, and I'm assuming you checked both of his bags between the lot of you. There's a blade of sorts in each.
So, you lost yours?
I've been awake this whole time. I just checked it and retraced all of my steps.
Can I check your bag just to make sure you didn't miss a pocket?
Gross.
I mean,
Sure.
either way, he lost it or he's lying to us.
I'll unsling it and hand it to Garth. Like, he's kind of panicking at this point because if Keth has it, it's a big problem.
So as you hand it to Garth, you kind of put your head down and you hand it to Garth, and Garth grabs it from you, and is able to jam a hand in there and feels all of the metal craftsmanship of the bag that Thadric had made. There's no extra pockets. There's no hidden flaps. It looks almost identical to the bag that Garth has, except Garth's has the blade in it, whereas Rumil's doesn't.
Okay, that's weird.
The stone shard?
I start putting on my pants.
The shard, the blade, yeah.
Well, let's look for it. And I'll start getting dressed. And while I get dressed for the 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
All right. So because Thadric likes to sleep in almost the buff, he works to put all of his gear back on, which I believe in D&D terms for his plate metal is like 5 minutes or so, like something silly.
Yeah.
It's 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on who you are and how much you've sheathed and unsheathed your equipment and placed it on oneself. He disappears around the edge of one of these palm trees, and you hear clanking and swearing as he's trying to get it all on.
Dang it. Well, if
You
I...
didn't see anyone?
It's literally been only me out here, and I've tried to stick close because I don't exactly know this area. If I know I was going to lose it, I have a locate object spell, but I don't exactly have the means by which to cast it at this point.
Oh, I can do that.
Well, that would be brilliant and very helpful at this point, Garth.
How about I do that? I cast that spell. Locate object.
Locate object. Please describe to me the nature of how you use it.
So, this item is familiar to me because I saw the shards divvied up.
Oh, you have one.
You're right, I have one.
Yeah.
So, but like the way it works is like describe a name and object that is familiar to you. You sense the direction to the object's location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of the movement. So, it can locate a specific object known to me as long as I've seen it up close within 30 feet at least once, which I believe I have. I helped create.
Yeah. So the interesting thing with this, as the dog is slamming into the camera, sorry about the tremors, streaming with pups. So the interesting thing about this is, like, if you see a bandolier of daggers and you see someone put 7 daggers in, do you believe it would operate in a way that you would be able to pick out dagger number 3 wherever it's at, or?
I think so. If I'm locating an object and if I can describe it as the specific shard handed to Rumiel, does that make sense?
Yeah, so here's the fun part. Thadric had handed you all bags with the blades in them or the shards in them. So you're not quite sure which piece went to which person in the party.
Okay, so I would have trouble pinning it down as to where it would be because everything is identical and we don't know. Quick, everyone, pull out the shards that we have. We will recreate it, and then I will specifically look for the one that is shaped as the missing piece.
There you go.
All right. So as you pull out the shards, you get Valari's shard, you get Garth's shard, you get Ari's shard, you get the 2 from the Blink Dog, so you got 5.
Hey, Thad!
And as you yell out to Thad, you notice that his armor clinking and rustling has gone silent, and you peek around the pillow tree that he was at, and he's not there.
Okay, wait.
He seems to have snuck around you all, and knowing Thadric and his sneaky ability, he could be anywhere at this point. So Thadric went a little bit AWOL at the moment.
Okay, wait, hold up. Is this we don't have Jared? Or is this?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Okay, in that case, Thadric, what? Then I'll cast locate object on. I just saw Thadric putting on his pants. I know he's got
Them pants, though.
I cast locate object on Thadric's pants.
As you cast locate object on Thadric's pants, you look around, and what you thought would be somewhere in the expanse of the pillow, you get this weird tugging at the back of your mind, and as you turn, you look and you see the flaps of the door of this pillow tent open, and they're flapping in the breeze a little bit, and you feel that like Thadric has kind of shuffled out the front.
Grab your shards. Thadric's on the move.
All right,
Let's go.
Grab my day satchel and take off.
Ooh,
All
nice
right.
happening, purse, Garth.
So as Thadric pops in here, so he hears the narrative. I've messaged you on Discord there, Thadric, sir. What had happened in the last few minutes? The players had tried to, or the party has tried to put all the pieces together of the stone to try and figure out where this missing piece was, and they went to go ask Thadric for his missing piece, but Thadric had kind of stealthed away and out the front door of the pillow fort. and Garth had cast Locate Object to find Thadric's pants because he had seen Thadric's pants and he wants to figure out where Thadric's pants actually are, to figure out where the man is himself. And as he did that, he realized that he kind of caught that Thadric was just out the front of the pillow fort. As he shuffled away, the party rushed up to get out the pillow fort, and they see Thadric half covered in his armor as he's kind of slapped some of it on and is carrying some of it under his arm, and he's standing outside the front of the pillow fort as they're looking for the 6th piece so they can figure out what the 7th piece looked like to cast Locate Object on. So they find Thadric out the front of the pillow fort, and that's where we're at.
So I'm just like dancing, putting my armor on, essentially.
You're putting your armor on. You snuck out with a high roll of 28 on your sneak, so you're able to get around them as you're trying to get away at this moment.
when they come out, no, you guys said you don't want to see me without the pants. I thought I was being considerate.
Insight check. Nope.
I also moved on to this. I will add 2. I have a 19 on the die for insight.
Well, I have
Also, for the record, I didn't know I was leaving, and I don't know what that is against.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was trying to confirm.
I have a 20. Does it seem like Thadric is lying?
Thadric, please roll a deception or a persuasion. Probably a persuasion here.
I mean, 19.
So you see that Thadric is trying to hide something, especially when you're asking about why he was shuffling away, when you're trying to find the stones, and you called out to him to ask for his piece of the stone. So he seems like he's hiding something about these stones for the moment.
Hey, Thad, we need your purse, buddy. Put my hand out.
I pulled the shard out and try to hand it gently.
There's nothing else in there, right?
Nope.
Can you turn it upside down for me? Just making sure, nothing got mixed up, because that happens.
Sure. Has hand on rapier. Like, he knows the other 3-ish, but this new metal man is new.
Yeah, I upend it and show that there's nothing else in it.
Cool, thanks, bud. Here we go. Let's put this.
Okay, so we create the puzzle. And based off of the lines created,
Yep.
I now press Locate Object to find.
It's not how locate object works.
Look, you've been gone taking pictures, so.
I didn't want to, I had to. It was not a choice.
Look, if you had just said no to Ashley, none of this would have happened.
Please.
Yeah, you come over, you say no.
Please roll me a d20. That'll help us on the effectiveness of the knowing the piece part. You'll get like a pinpoint to a general direction. Is what we're doing.
Am I adding anything to it?
You can add your spellcasting modifier.
That will make it a spellcasting modifier, not bone. Okay, that'll make it a 12.
A 12. You feel that the piece is very close. You kind of see a blur somewhat amongst the group of your party standing there as you stood back to look around. So the party's standing there and you just see a blur kind of around them and the floor. So it seems to be around your party-ish.
Well, it's close. I still feel like that should have worked better. But...
Let's look for it then.
Rumiel's going to fully draw his rapier. At this point, there's a shard around, and things are getting weird. Like, I'm not going to threaten anyone, but it's just like...
Can we lift the Linus with it, like, still up? Like, can we lift to look under it and stuff?
Yeah, Valari actually grabs it and lifts it to pack it up as you guys are looking. And as you know, when you pack Linus up and there's stuff in there that shouldn't be, it gets ejected. And you all stand there and wait for a second. Rumiel is just fascinated by the fact that when she picks it up, it turns back into a blanket.
This is crazy.
Nothing gets ejected at this point. And Valari rolls him up quick and tucks him back into her bag.
Everybody pass your bag to the left. Let's check each other's packs. Maybe it fell in here on accident.
Or this new guy is trying to play us. I'll give my bag to Garth.
Okay.
Are we handing satchels or the metal bags?
I thought he only made 2 metal bags for the doggo.
No, he made one for everybody,
No,
and
I
that's
got
how he
one.
handed the stones.
Yeah.
So that's the next fun thing, as Astro can't actually just like reach in and go, oh, there's one in here.
Yeah.
You need to decide who gets Astro's bags to double check.
Oh, I did.
I mean, we already checked Astro's bags. I mean, like our other bags to see if somebody.
Oh,
is
everyone's satchels. Okay.
Oh, my kit? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I put it up on the anvil so it's not in the slosh.
Yeah. As you all set yours up on anvils and tables and things and go check your neighbors.
But here's the thing, you guys. I don't know why we're like going after Thadric. He was asleep when Rumiel came back. He was asleep like all of us.
Nobody's going after Thadric. We're just checking everybody's bags.
I want to take my bag over to Garth and give it to him. And as I do, I want to mouth and also thieves' cant. I don't know that he knows this. In fact, he probably doesn't. But
languages, but not that one.
yeah. But I'll mouth in halfling. Like I'll make the mouth motion, no noise, and with my hands, I'll thieves' cant. And just the simple word.
I need a perception check from Garth to see how much he sees of this.
That druid does not speak with animals.
My roll is an 11. My passive is a 12.
Okay. So, Jared, I'd ask that you give me a word similar to what you wanted to give him. Not identical, but something nearby or close to.
I've discorded it.
Okay, perfect. So as the mouthing occurs, and Garth, you kind of look up, you believe you see a word that says truth come from his mouth. In halfling.
And I go in halfling, I'm like, I just go, truth?
Can I get perceptions from Valari, Ari, and Rumiel?
Yeah. I don't know the.
I got a 16.
16, okay.
13.
13?
10.
10. All right. Rumiel, you don't see this. Valari, you said you had 13?
16.
16. And Ari had the 13, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Valari, you do catch that there's a little bit of mumbling going back and forth between Garth and Thadric. Ari, you don't notice that either. You're just kind of passing packs and looking through. So, Valari, you catch sight of this. Garth and Thadric, you may speak 2 to 3 words to each other. And that's about it for your exchange. And this is in halfling. So if anyone else can speak halfling, you might kind of hear it. But if anything, Valari's the only one that's recognizing this.
Yeah, in halfling.
Yep.
It's like trust portal. It's more facial feature than verbiage.
Garth, do you have anything to respond quick?
I don't think so. I'm gonna look in Thadric's bag.
All right. I will need you to roll an investigation. And Valari, what were you gonna do?
I want to message Thadric and be like, what the heck is going on?
All right. So Thadric, you hear Valari in the back of your head. What is going on? And you're able to respond about a sentence or less.
And that's not audible, right? Like
No,
That's
it's
not audible. It's just like mind to mind.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's I have to her. I say I have it. I just don't trust this guy.
All right. Garth, what is your investigation?
26.
26. As you reach in, you find the piece of the stone, and then you also kind of notice that there's a looser flap in this bag than in yours, and you pull at it a little, and you notice it's a hidden pocket that has another piece of the stone stashed within Thadric's bag. So you see that he kind of showed you his satchel and the bag with the shards in it. When you peeked in there, you noticed that Thadric was carrying 2 shards instead of 1.
Can I message Garth?
If you want to use the spell slot for it.
It's a cantrip.
Oh, sure, go for it.
No, you have to use the spell slot this time.
Yeah.
It's an important message.
It's a very important high priority.
I
Your
message
credit score has gone up by 10 points.
Garth and I go, shoot, now I'm trying to choose my words like super
That's it.
carefully.
Shoot, I got it. That's that.
Shoot. just say very brief. What do you think? What are you doing? Pressure.
Trust Thadric. That's what I'm gonna say.
And so Garth is hearing trust Thadric as he's finding the second blade.
Can you paint me a picture of what I'm standing around?
Yeah, so Thadric said he placed his bags and stuff up on an anvil. It stands a little lower than like mid-chest to you, so you kind of reach up and tippy-toe and peek in. There's slush along the floor. There's a small hammer kind of at your feet. There's a few more anvils about 5 to 7 feet around that others have set their bags on. Ari is investigating Rumiel's bag, and Valari is investigating, I believe, Ari's bag, and you're each kind of peeking into things and just double checking. And you're hearing Valari's voice, and you know she's kind of right behind you, and Rumiel's up over like your left shoulder. Thadric is to your right, like immediately to your right as he's setting his bag down and mumbling to you.
I think I'll give Thadric a knowing look, and then I'm going to try and take a page out of his book. I'm going to try to sleight of hand his shard out of the bag kind of behind the anvil itself so that no one can see it.
Okay.
And then my goal is to make it look like I have found it around somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, please roll me a sleight of hand.
We'll see how good this works. Halflings can't roll those!
Oh, look.
Not the first time. Let's see. Only a 9.
Only a 9. So you're able to pull it out of the bag, and then you kind of clink it up against the anvil before you're able to slide it around the anvil itself. And the rest of the group is able to turn around and see that you have a shard in hand. And you're standing there while you're looking in Thadric's bag with a shard in hand now. The rest of you turn around and see this, FYI.
What's going on?
Well, I think. Hold up. I think Garth. If there's a noise, then Garth's like, oh crap. Garth's gonna go. Okay. Well, here's this one from Thadric's bag. Everyone else got one in their bag?
Yeah, we already checked those.
Well, aren't you holding? Do we see that he's holding 2 at this point?
He's only holding 1. He
okay.
pulled 1 out.
He's holding 1. Okay. Well, I'm
This appears to be clean. I'm still missing the one that was in my bag.
Yeah, nothing in this bag.
Did you like go explore town? Maybe it just like fell or something. Sometimes I don't fasten
spent
things.
quite a bit of time retracing my steps. I didn't want to wake you all during your long rest. And if it was there, I would have noticed it.
Quite perceptive, are you?
Quite. I don't know if I'm quite as good as you, but I'm quite perceptive.
We're wasting so much time.
Yeah.
I agree. If there's a way to get back to Keth, he is still destroying worlds.
Wait, so like when that was the 6-armed dude. Never mind.
But if we find Keth, we'll probably find him.
Wait, but there's like multiple Keths?
There could be.
Well, I know there's multiple Rumiels. Or this
Well,
guy.
we've killed one Keth, so we are assuming there's maybe 2 then?
I want to look over at everyone and go, why don't we find an army of us's?
What have I done?
It seems reasonable to me.
Good army us's.
Oh no.
Isn't there like a dimensional rule about that or something?
Season 6, all of the Thadrics. Every player on stream will be playing a version of Thadric.
Hold up. How many of me do y'all want around for real though?
Fireball, 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 fireball.
That's one.
The army of Alaris decimates themselves in the first 10 minutes.
So let's just agree that one of each of us is probably enough.
I agree. But we still... So we have all... Do we have all of the shots? We're still missing one.
Okay, because I'm guessing that if Thad came over to look at my bag, then the assumption is that if Thad gave me his bag, that he's looking at my bag. I want to try and pull a switcheroo. I don't know. This is just the worst. Stinking rogues. Yeah. Okay, just everyone else.
Can I see him struggling, like with like in his face of like what to do? Can I notice?
Garth? Oh yeah. You can see that. Garth is trying to be a rogue at this point, and he has 0 points in rogue.
I'll go up to him. I'll go up and like, can I have my bag back now?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'll take it, but I'll drop it on purpose so that it falls by the foot of the anvil, and then I'll sleight of hand the one in Garth's hand and put it under some of the slush, and just leave it there.
All right. So as you do that and you pick up your bag and sleight of hand, I need a sleight of hand roll and I need perception from the rest of you.
22.
Okay.
15.
15.
12.
12. Rumiel?
Oh, 21.
21. You do not notice this sleight of hand. There is now a blade buried under the slush. Only Thadric knows. He picks up his bag and carries on with whatever he was doing.
Well, now, should I roll that as well, even though I'm right there with him?
You're right there with him, and you're mildly in on this, so you're going to be okay not to roll.
Okay.
Otherwise, you rolled a 21. You didn't see it.
Well, perhaps we've got a layer of filth. I know you spent time looking, but Garth is going to I'm guessing there's a coal shovel for the furnace.
There's actually one nearby. The furnace is actually only about 7 or 8 feet away.
Yeah, so I grab a coal shovel and I just start clearing. Like I just kind of start going over the slush.
Yeah.
Into a pile.
Perfect. As you're going over the slush, you scrape and you scrape and you scrape and you go clink, and there isn't a tool there. And you clink a couple more times, and as you reach down, you're able to pull a shard out of the slush.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Finally. Jeez.
So now, where are we going with all the shots?
Question of the day.
To the council.
To the council.
Or are we? I mean, what do we do? Are we gonna get Rumiel home? Is Rumiel safe?
And how are we going to the council if the council building's not even there?
We don't know.
I mean, the building still exists.
The kid said it fell off the cliff.
I'll
Yeah,
give
it's
you
still
some.
there. It's
I'll
just
give you
in
some
the ocean.
DM tips. What is your first step? Are you going to tie your shoes or are you going to sprint? You've got a few shards that are out in the open. Just want to make sure you protect them from any
We
shenanigans.
run
like
down
this.
the street waving them carelessly.
Perfect. With
We
your arm
got
half
the
on.
shards.
No, I think we put them back in, right? Put them back in
Put
the
'em back in,
slots.
So
My thought.
yeah, you guys start putting them in the bags, and as you hand Rumiel the shard, Thadric, you kind of watch very closely with gritted teeth. Garth kind of hands the shard over to Rumiel and
Can I-
holds a little tight.
Say something.
Uh-huh.
He he clearly just lost it. Like, we gave it to him 8 hours ago and he lost it once.
To be fair, metagaming, it was stolen.
To
Was it?
be fair, metagaming, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't even given to you.
To be fair, I know what happened. So I'm going, okay, he already lost it once. Do we really want to?
We
Uh,
all make mistakes.
Fine. If you all would rather keep it, I would just as soon that they be protected. That's my priority right now. If you want to hang on to it, that's completely fine. My priority is getting home and killing the man that wiped out my party.
Yes.
AKA us.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know what all this drama is about, but Garth, why don't you keep it then if we're all so worried? And can we please get out of here?
I agree.
So Garth slides the second piece of this shard right up against the piece he had in his bag, and as he does, sparks shoot out of this metal mesh, and as he does that, the bag vibrates and shakes and hovers a little bit, and a small portal appears right in front of it, and the portal that appears right in front of the bag seems empty, blank, clear. I do have to call out, thank you for spending your TikTok bucks. I see Nathan is eating a vegetable, and if for some reason he isn't hungry and waiting for dinner, whoever did that, thank you for looking out
It's
for
Lucas.
making sure Nathan eats his vegetables.
It's Lucas.
Lucas Martinez,
And he,
you
being the customer, says that he should eat a whole cucumber.
Yep. No ranch.
Lucas Martinez,
Yeah, we're-
I can't make sure he eats a whole cucumber now, but over the course of time, you can make him eat that whole cucumber.
Well, at least a pickle. Come on.
Leaves the pickle.
No, I will not do pickles.
So,
What?
as this small portal is floating in front of the bag that is kind of hovering and shaking in the air, the portal seems blank. There's nothing on the other side, and it is vibrating and humming. In the back of Rumiel's mind, he hears a voice screaming out, "Kill Cat! Kill Cat!" And it sounds almost like the last mercenary that he had hired that only died, well, now about 9 hours ago as they were storming Ket's fortress. The rest of the party sees the portal and hears hums, and in the back of each of your heads, Volari hears some giggling of some of the kids she used to hang out with, and she remembers because there was a weird little chuckle snort from one of her buddies on the streets that she hung out with a handful of years ago. But it sounds more grown up, and she hears almost like a bar scene, like glasses clanking and some cheering, and I'll have another. Garth hears a bit of some jingling in the background, and he recognizes that as some of the tamed wyverns, the metallic harnesses that they would wear, that he would be able to fly on in his home area. Ari recognizes some bells that she hasn't heard in many, many, many years of a cathedral not too far from where she grew up, but they seem much closer. Thadric, you recognize a smell, actually, instead of some sounds. It smells almost like your mother's sweet roll cakes that she would make. A very sweet and delicate piece with spices and fruits and bits of dough that were her recipe that was handed down from her grandmother and great-grandmother. So each of you recognizes something about this portal that kind of calls to you as a place to go.
I think as soon as Rumil hears the shouts of kill Kath, that's kind of his whole purpose, and he recognizes the voice, obviously.
Yep.
So that like immediately grabs his attention, and he's, upon recognizing it, he says, "Oh, that's Ibrin. They're close." And then he's gonna like run for the portal.
Wait,
As
what?
Rumil starts running for the portal gets big, and you see a bit of a castle appear in it, and there's a few dead orcs laying out, and there's a man who stabs an orc up through the chest and lifts him off the ground and throws him off to the side, and he turns and throws his arms back and lets out a roar, and like flame shoots out of his mouth, and like a dragon's head engulfs another orc and drops him off to the side. The man rushes forward and looks over his shoulder, and you hear, "Rumil, come on, Rumil, faster! We must storm the gates!" And as this man turns back and he shouts that, the rest of the party recognizes from a distance a face that may be Ibrin. Unfortunately, Thadric doesn't recognize this man here. And as the man turns back and rushes forward, he stabs one orc in the face with a dagger and turns to grab another orc with his sword and stab up. But this orc lands a double-sided axe blow right into the chest of this man, and he drops to his knees, and you hear a scream and a roar from the man and just an explosion of flame. This was the scene that Rumil does recall exactly happening a few hours ago, as Ibrin helped finish basically the last of the orcs in front of Keth's fortress. And so as Rumil rushes forward and you all see this scene play out, and Rumil like briefly stops feeling that gut-wrenching pain, as this is like the closest to a friend he's had in some time, he lets out a huff. And if there's anything you wish to say, Rumil, before carrying on.
I think he might like pause, kind of turn, and just taking like one last look at his living party. His sword starts to gleam again, as you can see him starting to like a fire in his eyes, and he's already casting spells onto his sword that will be unleashed as soon as he hits something. So taking one last look at the party alive for the last time, just kind of says, "I won't let this happen again, not to anyone else," and just takes off through the portal as like light starts like glowing off of him as he's ready to just launch a powerful attack against Kath.
As he runs for the portal, Garth just goes, "Aim for his crotch! He's weak there!"
anyone else have anything to say as you saw this happen and see this Rumiel rushing through to a scene mildly unfamiliar with a familiar face within?
Don't let him die again!
And you guys want it? Oh, and you guys were gonna give him a shard.
Yeah.
He just ran through. You didn't even know that guy.
I mean,
We traveled with him for longer than we've traveled with you.
also,
You
I mean,
just met that dude.
you both have valid points. I think we're all very shocked at how sudden another portal opened. But now we have all the pieces. Rumiel is leaving us again.
Ebron's dying again.
This
I
Rumiel
do have a
rushes.
few healing spells if that makes you feel any better.
That's true.
The story is ending with an open ending.
Yeah, this Rumiel rushes through, and as he sees the flames engulf the orcs and
Oh, no.
the Ebron of that realm kind of hunched over on his knees, the portal closes back around the Rumiel you had just met, and the bag drops to the floor. Everything goes so silent. Your ears seem to almost be ringing. For the last few hours, the only silence you had was laying in the pillow fort, but even then there was a weird whooshy sound of the fake waves sloshing up against the pillow island. It is now down to Valari, Garth, Ari, Thadric, and the blink dog named Astro, who is standing there and his tail droops. And he watches the bag hit the slush and lets out a tiny huff of a... And things go silent. But in the back of each of your minds, there's a small wonder that if this portal could be made, what more could you do with these stones? We're going to leave it here. And we're going to do some drawings. And as the players wipe the tears, from their eyes and the confusion from their faces, we're going to queue up a raid. I know it's going to be a tough one because they usually raid us last minute. We're going to go to top-down tabletop. So the few of you who see them come in, we're going to try and catch them before they go off air so you can say hi to them and spread the love. We're going to draw our giveaways. I'm going to draw until we have 2 winners that are not our cast. So if our cast comes up, well, then your character dies. If the cast comes up, we are going to draw another. So the first person, Jason Sports Gamer, we will reach out to you if you're still here. Say hi. You win a set of blacksmith craft dice, burnished bronze. We'll get in touch. We'll mail that to you. And our next winner, the Cadence. We'll reach out to you. Cadence will reach out to you. Hopefully you're on iOS or Mac. Because you won a year subscription to the premium features of Encounter Plus.
I believe he is iOS.
Perfect.
No way.
So, even better. You're going to get some love there. We'll reach out to you as well. The Cadence, you are getting Encounter Plus, and Jason Sports Gamer, you're getting dice. We'll be in touch. I am hoping to see if we can raid these guys. Jared, unless you can raid them.
Yes, I can.
Please stay here just a moment. Send all of the love to top down tabletop. Say hi and join in the raid. So push that as fast as you can. Forth we go.
Yay! Thanks, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Boom, boom.
2 weeks. Twoo.
2 weeks.
Weeks.
They did it.